DFZRadio.com.
The cannabis portion of this show is designed as entertainment only for legal medicinal cannabis patients over 21 years of age and is not meant to encourage any other activity or use. Yeah, dick.
Fantastic. The Hhtgs show. Knowing someone better than your show. Everybody knowing this whole show. Yeah. Talking about the Hhtgs show. Yeah! This is fantastic! Booyah!
Yo, what is? Thanks for tuning in. Welcome to the Hhtgs show on DFZRadio.com. I am your host, Sloppy T. I got sloppy today. No, I've been in the pool, been in the sun. It's been a great week. It was a nice week off for once. Got to hang out. The last week, it was 4th of July. And we all came back with all of our dedos. All of our fingers, right, guys?
Right. Yeah.
Show us your fingers. Masako, show us your fingers. You're good?
Yes.
No fireworks lit off in your hand?
No.
Blew them off? We're all good. Marcos Pollo, our screener, not so lucky. He's got a stump that he's answering the phone calls with tonight. So if he accidentally hangs up on you, it's just part of the game.
Now his new name is Shocker.
I think the shipping times might become longer now. He can't operate the tape gun with the same efficiency. Oh, that packing tape gun, it's a hell of a thing, especially when you have no tape in it.
All right.
Yeah, you're waiting for your package? Don't worry, there's no tape. As soon as someone buys tape, everyone gets their package. No, straight up, though, we always deliver. And if you want to get hooked up, call in 562-653-0707. That's the phone number. Everyone gets hooked up just for talking grow with us. We have an awesome show with a couple really unique companies in studio. The first company coming up in just a few moments is HB101. And no, it's not something you catch after a weekend in Tijuana, an awesome weekend in Tijuana. Nonetheless, it's a plant tonic, really. It's something that's unique that I don't think that many people realize how they can optimize their plants, and this is a way that we can do it. So Masako from HB101 is going to be in the house talking grow, smoking blunts, getting savage with us. We're also going to have Primordial. How do you say it, Horty Chris?
Primordial Solutions?
Yeah, Primordial. I thought it was Mordial.
Maybe it is. I don't know.
It is.
It is? That's a microphone. This isn't your first time here.
Chlorella?
Chlorella.
DeVille.
Chlorella DeVille. That's my new root tonic.
Right?
Hey, if Michael Jordan can fucking make money, Chlorella DeVille definitely.
Right.
I like your Just Water.
Just water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bought all the domains right after that show.
Very, very low pH water. But yeah, we're talking Grow Primordial is going to be here, which will be real awesome. And of course, anything that you want to know about growing your favorite plants, including cannabis, call in. At the end of the table, my co-host over the last 7 or so years, the guy that makes us all happy that we come here every Wednesday, Horty Chris.
Hola.
Horty Chris, I have some emails here for you.
Oh, yeah, I can only imagine.
They want to know when Horty Chris's Facebook F-Tart of the Week will be back on air.
Probably when I start going on Facebook again.
Okay. Just in everyday life, I think enough people irritate you that you can make the segment happen once a month.
It's always the same people, though. And now that they have that snooze button on Facebook,
Oh, I'd be snoozing everyone.
I don't even get any. I open it up and there's no news.
You know, the first person I snoozed, this guy over here. You know what's good?
Oh yeah,
Because I saw sponsored links of boasting his own grow off win.
yeah. That's when I blocked him on Instagram.
hey, it's coming up again. I'm just gonna have to win one more time.
round 2.
But it is Jiggity Jerome over here as well, head cultivator for Liberty Canis, their Beach Center location.
Yeah.
And, of course, Grow Off winner in weight, third place in terpene, and co-host on the Heavy Tea Grow Show. I'm glad you're here, buddy. Now, Grow Off is coming up again.
Yeah.
Have you
He's
spoke
the
with him
new
about our
resident-
little...
He's the new resident
Oh,
idiot.
you know what's really
Indiscretion?
funny is because it's licensed facilities only this time.
Can I put a plant in your licensed facility?
Well, I'm just gonna
Put me on payroll for 5 seconds?
Hey, it's kind of good to be the only person that's defending going back into it.
There you go.
It sucks though. You got to think about it. I think that in this competition, it should be open to home growers of 6 plants or less. If they're only giving you 2, you're still a medical patient. If
Well,
it's
I
a medical competition,
Well, here is part of the hydropocalypse going on in California right now. That most home growers, or all home growers, they say you can't get your things tested now. That you have to have a current California license to be tested. I may be wrong, but that was my understanding.
Wow.
And if that is the case, I mean, I believe, check that, I believe that you can get a research and development test done, but I'm not absolutely sure. So you can't even get your stuff tested unless you're licensed. So how are you going to enter a competition?
well, I mean, that's up to them. That's in your entry fee is the testing. So I'm not going to ask questions. Just,
I'd be testing
just
it right
test
right there in my job, dog. I'd be
That's
like,
right. Burn clean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see
barely
what the
taste that
strain is
mildew.
this time. I
barely
know.
taste that Eagle 20.
Right.
Well, it's funny. A lot of companies aren't even testing for Eagle 20 on a lot of their products
Really?
now. I noticed that in a lot of the test results that are being posted out there, they ghost out a lot of the stuff that were not detected or technically they're not looking for. And
Myclobutadol or whatever. how you s-
myclobutadol and what's another one that's on there?
Arsenic.
Ambimedicine or whatever, and
Mountain
Avid.
Dew.
So I mean,
Ivermectin.
it's weird. Like a lot of people are testing for paclobutrazol, but not dimetazide or vice versa.
Yeah, they don't want to. Well, check that. Don't you want someone to be not smoking the super poison? Because Paclo, the jury is out on Paclo. Dimenicide as a PGR, as a growth stunter and an increaser of yield, is certainly carcinogenic. They don't have any real hard studies that show conclusively that have been repeated that paclobutrazol is carcinogenic. But most of the time, those two are paired together. So the studies are muddled a little bit.
Right.
But to me, certainly I was considered, because Paclo is in fucking grapes, it's in different produce that you'll eat, and it's systemic. So if we're eating it or we're cooking with it, that's along the same lines of consuming our cannabis.
Not
I
necessarily.
don't use it. I'm not defending it. I'm just saying I think it's more important to be testing for the Eagle 20, the Abbott, the Forbid, the Orthene, all those things opposed to or with Paclo. Why would you pick one or the other? It's stupid.
Well, I mean, a lot of those chemicals come from people. I'll even admit, being as part of somebody that came from a hydroponic background, working behind the counter, we used to sell a lot of these harmful chemicals to people and actually teach them how to use it. And now that there's a lot of research and seeing that consuming them in digestive, tracts versus, sparking it with a flame, the chemical reaction's a lot different. So they're finding a lot of these things are actually more harmful than they realize. So you're seeing a lot more products being taken off the market, or even things like spinosad. People see a bottle of that, it says organic, Monterey, whatever. It's technically not good for you to smoke.
Well, yeah. But there's reasons why that's not available for large-scale commercial use, and it's not necessarily that it's harmful to you. All pesticide, whether organic or synthetic, it's harmful. It's poison. It's designed to kill things.
Right.
It's just selective toxicity. Is it more toxic to insect, a soft-bodied insect, than it is to invertebrate? Right? And the spinosad has shown to be
Spinosad.
spinosad has been shown to be toxic to all kinds of animals, including bees. Where the residual on a plant will carry it, and it will have
Well, don't
That's
they
like a middle
effects,
culprit, too.
don't they
effects on the
spray
hive.
spinosad on spinach too?
On spinach.
Spinach?
Spinach.
Say spinach.
They be spraying spinosad on my spinach.
Oh man, your fiance needs to spray some spinosad on a spinach. Oh, I was talking about his fiance. Oh, okay.
I'll text her and tell
Don't
her
be
you said that.
texting her. She already doesn't let me come over and
Get off your
swim.
phone. I know, right?
It's hot as hell. I don't get no text messages.
Well, she's like, it's okay if he comes and swims, but not at 2 a.m. on a Wednesday when you guys get an Uber home.
That's the best time. That's when I really need to go swimming, clear my head and my sinuses. All right, 562-653-0707. There's a lot of different things to talk about. Let's before we go to Masako, we have Jay. He's been holding for a second, and screener Stumpy Mark and Ali. I need a prize sheet, please. Prize sheet in here. Let's go to Jay. He has a question about his plants inside and outside. Jay, you there?
Yes.
What's up, dude?
How's it going, man?
You know,
We just
another
told you.
Hot Wednesday here in the LBC.
Yeah, so I'm out in Long Beach. Thanks for taking my call. I got a plant that I've been growing outdoors for the past 3 months, but I'm in the hood, so I feel like I know it'll get jacked because they steal everything from my front porch and from the sides.
Well, why don't you
I
put it in the
wanted to bring-
backyard then? Why you got your fucking plant on the front porch?
Hey, I don't got it like that. I don't got a backyard, so I got a backyard, but it kind of joins in with all my neighbors.
The
So,
backyard has been claimed.
My question was, what do I need to do to bring it indoors? So far, I went to a hydroponics shop, and he actually told me to call into your show.
Nice.
Off Atherton and Clark,
Well,
and he said, so I don't know. What are your suggestions?
so
What do you suggest?
bringing it inside from outside, you got to do it, and you want to replicate the circumstances. Outside right now, we're about 14 and a half hours, I think, of light. Inside, you're not going to do that full term. You're going to. I also need to know what to give away. You will. 12 hours of light on, 12 hours of light off. When you're going to set up an indoor grow, identify the space that you're going to be using, right? So say I'm allocating this closet, this bedroom, this corner of my living room where I'm going to put a tent, and how much space you want to dedicate to it, and then you're going to pick the correct light to light it up. If you have a 1,000-watt light already, or you have a high wattage light, you're going to need to use some cooling during this time of year, and most people do closed environment ag where they don't use exchange of air, where they're pulling the hot air out and bringing in the cold air. They'll use a climate control like an air conditioner. Okay, so it just starts. I think, Horty, where do you want to do it inside?
Yeah, well, first of all, how big is the plant?
Right now, the plant's just about 12 inches. So it's probably like 12 to 18.
Okay, so it's not that big. Excuse me. Do you have an area indoors where you can grow it at?
It's going to be in the corner in my living room.
Okay, well, you can't just put it in the corner because you're going to need to give it 12 hours of uninterrupted darkness once it starts to flower.
Can't put baby in the corner.
And you can't nobody puts baby in the corner. No, you can't just set it.
In a box though. I'm making a little box.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
or you can go.
Well, how little of a box? Because what if the plant gets too big for the box? What size light are you going to put over it?
Well, I was looking at a 75-watt light, and it's 2 plants growing in 1 pot too.
Okay.
And let me guess, it's like a 1-gallon pot.
No, it's bigger than that. It's probably about like 4.
Okay. And so when I said how tall is your plant, you said 12 to 18 inches, and that's both of them?
Yeah. Yes, both of them.
Okay, are they the same strain or are they different strains?
Same strain.
Okay, well, that's better than having 2 different strains and trying to feed them and water them equally.
That's how you cross strains. People,
Yeah.
You put them together.
Yeah, and then you turn
That's
the
not
lights
true.
out and put on some romantic music, and next thing you know,
We
brown
got rid of-
chicken, brown
We got rid of
cow.
Duff Man, and then Jerome's like, I'm here.
That's right. Jerome is sitting in the tard chair. Be careful over there. That microphone emits stupid fumes. You'll be drooling on yourself soon. So you're gonna make a box. Do you have the money to get a tent or like?
Yeah, so I went and I got some this is called sun film. I got some sun
So
film.
reflective
I'm gonna put
material.
it inside of a box, making like a wooden box, like a custom wooden box, and I'm gonna get a little fan, I guess, with the ventilation, and it's gonna like go back into it.
Are you making it like so that it's stealthy? Because like wood isn't always good to have around plants that are growing because it can withhold moisture, and next thing you know, you got some mold growing on it or weird stuff. Like like it's not really smart to have wood in there.
Right.
And then also if you're gonna build some custom wooden cabinet, and now you got to go get a saw and wood and all these things, then you can maybe just buy like a little 2x4 tent. I mean, how much do those run, Heavy T? Are you playing Words with Friends over there?
Expensive. I'm sending in my Ultimate Grow Failed submissions.
Oh.
They're like $200.
A 2x4 tent's like $200,
Yeah.
and you can use it in the future too. If you upgrade, you
Yeah,
can use
at
it
the
to
most,
hold
they become
moms or tents.
more and more
Well,
affordable.
Are you a handy person? You like building shit? Is this why?
Yeah, I like building stuff, and
Okay.
I was trying to save cash too.
Get some 1x2, 1.5 by 1.5 pieces. Frame yourself a square. Get yourself some 1-inch Artec board. Get some metal foil tape. Make sure this way he's right. You don't want to use wood. It's going to harbor bacteria and stuff like that over time. You want to make sure you have a non-porous material.
What if I have it insulated with
No, the Artec is insulation. It's a 1-inch foam board. It has an R value of I think 3.4 to 4.0. So just depending on the thickness of it. So when you go ahead and build your little box, you can go ahead and build like 3 walls, put a zipper on there, but make sure you go to the hydro store and get an actual inline fan and carbon filter so you can exchange air out of it. So this way you're vacuuming out all the bad smell, and you have some type of vent towards the bottom of it, which brings the cool air up through the canopy, brings the hot air out through the top.
Okay.
All right. And
Okay.
as far as the light, 75 watts. I mean, if everything was healthy, it's
Get a
good. It's
315
going to
bars.
produce like a quarter ounce for you.
Dude, that
Maybe a half ounce.
315 LEC that they
Yeah.
were giving away a couple weeks ago here on
You
the
can
air.
do that.
Those things are fucking bad.
And that's going to be high
ass.
quality. You can get up to a half pound or so off quality genetics with that.
Okay.
All right. So remember, more energy, more power equals more weight. Excuse me. It also equals more heat. Energy equals heat. So you have to think about cooling it. Between 250 and 400 watts is perfect. You're not going to be growing in a larger than a 4x4 area. You want to build your box a little bit bigger than just stuffing the plant in there because you really don't want it pressing against the walls, even if it's Artec board or if it's wood or if it's just a black and white polyfilm that you staple gun to something, right? Staple gun to the frame. You want it big enough where it has room to move and you have airflow around it. That's going to keep the pest and the mildew and other problems down. Moving something from outside to inside, that's going to be a huge issue, is not
Right.
contaminating that area. So you need to go hard on your integrated pest management. You don't need to use some of the toxic, go nuclear like we were talking about with some of those things that people use. But you can use pesticides that have very short residual time on the plant or are completely organic, okay? And both of them,
Right.
basically.
HB 101 will also deter pests.
Will it?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
The
Well,
oil's in it.
let's hear more about that, Jay. I'm going to send you something to help you with your environment in that box. I'm going to send you some of the original green pads. Hang them up, give them a squirt, let the CO2 rain down right on your plant's face, that double face they got, the Siamese twins in that one pot. And let's do the entire line of Mission Fertilizer, dude. That's the Grow, the Bloom, the Enhance, and the Crazy Swell. All going out to you and your local shop, man. Thanks for calling in, and tell all the homies that if you want to grow better, you grow with Heavy T.
Okay, cool. Thank you, man.
All right. And yeah, let's hear about the HB 101 a little bit. In studio, we have Masako Yamamoto.
Yes.
Did I say that correctly or
Yes.
closely?
Perfect.
Oh, perfect. Thank you very much.
Hey, first time for everything.
Do we talk to my state? But we're here, and we're here with HB 101. Before we get down to it, this is a Japanese company, right? Or
No, actually, I started this company as an American company in Oregon.
So it's formed in Oregon.
Yes.
But you are originally from Japan.
Yes.
And when I think of Japan, I think of beautiful plants, bonsai trees, and different horticultural
Ramen.
aspects. But I don't
Panda
think
bears.
I don't think about cannabis
Panda
growing.
bears? No, it's China.
And I don't think about that the leading edge technology for cannabis is going to be coming out of Japan, or to really be speaking with many Japanese business owners in this space. How did you come to be the president of HB 101? And what's your background?
My background is business consultant.
All right.
And actually, I attended American business school years ago. And then after that, I went back to Japan and started my business consulting company over there.
And that's where you heard about Heavy Tea Grow Shop? No, not yet. Okay, we'll get
She
to
still
that.
doesn't know what Heavy Tea's Grow Show is.
We'll get to
No.
that point. But you went back to Japan.
Yes. And then so I found HB 101 in Japan, and I became interested in the product. So I wanted to the company or product to go abroad, and actually they already had their network in Southeast Asia, Europe, and Russia, but not in the United States. So I approached the company, I approached the inventor of HB 101, and I asked whether he was interested in getting into the American market.
Did you foresee the use in our niche of the industry, or the cannabis niche, basically, or were you going after the home and garden? What was your idea of bringing it to the United States?
Oh, when I thought about the market in the United States, I didn't have any idea of cannabis because I was in Japan. I brought up in Japan.
And cannabis is strictly forbidden in Japan.
Right,
If you
right.
get caught with it, you go to prison for a long time.
I don't know
it's
how
death.
many years.
No.
Yeah. So
We never see them again. It's all stupid Americans that brought it over here in there anyway.
So first, I started to approach to our home gardeners with my through our online shop, as well as our garden centers or hydroponics. Actually, hydroponics comes later, but so first I approached to the home gardeners through online store as well as the garden centers, and later I realized that there is a new market to me, that is hydroponics here
Right.
in the United States. And then I learned about cannabis.
And the tongue-in-cheek, wink, wink, I'm growing my fruits, flowers, and tomatoes in the hydro store. You had no idea that everyone was talking about growing bud.
No, however,
The Yakuza knew, though.
A lot of tomatoes and strawberries.
tomatoes, but we started to work with the universities to get the manufacturer in Japan did many studies and research with the universities in Japan. However, they did not have any experience of doing research in the United States, in the environment of United States. So as a Flora USA, I started to work with universities because I was in Beaverton, Oregon. So I first approached
Beautiful area, too.
Yes, green.
A lot of cannabis up there.
Oh, I didn't see that.
That's right.
But so
Don't lie. You got those $50 packs in your duffel bag outside.
So I started to work with the Oregon State University.
Yeah.
And then so I work. So we have been doing research on sweet cherries, blueberries, turf, variety of vegetables, and then after that, when I realized the cannabis market here in the United States, I approached to the California Polytechnic University in Pomona. There was only one. Actually, there was a famous professor over there specialized in hydroponics.
Yes.
And so that was Professor Fujimoto. And then he did research with HB101 on the plants. And I asked him to grow cannabis on campus. But he denied because, so,
I thought you were about to put everyone on the bus.
He's like, the
Breaking
Yakuza,
news.
the Yakuza will come and kill me if I try to grow cannabis.
So we did research with tomatoes and basils. And the result was really, really good.
That is amazing. Now, back to where you were doing it at Oregon State and then at Cal Poly. This is a wider range of plants. You have ornamental plants, you have vegetative plants, you have fruit-bearing plants,
Turf.
all different types of things. What is the objective of HB 101? Obviously, we all want to grow plants better.
Yes.
What does it do and how does it do it?
If I say just one word, HB 101 makes plants healthier, bigger, stronger.
Okay. And is it a complement to my feeding, my nutrition now, or is it a standalone?
Oh no, HB101, you can consider it as a supplement for plants. So you can feed whatever the nutrients you are using right now, and then any other products.
Okay, and I just feed it as a drench, or do I foliar feed it? Do I use it as a spray?
Any type of application is okay. So you can apply as a foliar spray, or you can use the soil application or core, or even you can put the HB101 in the reservoir.
And so I'm trying to get a clearer picture. I hear let's use the term plant tonics. I see plant tonics or things that allege to increase nutrient uptake, to increase vigor,
Right.
flower sites.
Right.
And they have an array of different mechanisms of how they try to accomplish this. What exactly is the mechanism of HB
It's
101?
none of your business. It's a secret, right?
Yeah,
No.
actually, I would say secret, but it's their ingredient is just natural plant extracts of Japanese cedar, Japanese cypress, pine, and plantain grass. So it is not easy to explain technically how it works, but it works.
And you have the scientific data to back it up.
Yes,
You
yes.
can go on over.
Fukushima water.
Well, no, I've used this
can-
product myself.
Right.
It's amazing.
I have too.
So-
I was going to tell you.
You
that,
could go to hb-101usa.com to see some of that as well. But you've used it, Horty?
Dustin
Yeah.
from Smart Pots, who
Yeah.
also owns High Country Genetics.
A green cleaner and all that.
Yeah. I asked him. I was like, "Hey, I got some tough to pop seeds, and what would you recommend that you can use?" And he said, "There's this stuff from Japan called HB101. You should put a couple drops of it in the water that you soak your seeds in." He's like, "I guarantee you, if it's possible that the seed will sprout,
Right.
the HB101 will help." And I got a little bottle of it actually from Long Beach Hydro. Didn't pay for it, pocketed it, took it home, and I used it, and I sent it home with Smokey to Cleveland and had him use it too, and the seeds all popped good and were super healthy, so it's even good for starting seeds.
Yeah, so you can use HB101 from seeding or sowing or transplanting or...
You can use it for sowing too?
Yes, so first
Seeding.
when you... sowing,
I thought you meant
seeding. No. No.
Sow the seeds.
Okay, seeding. And then so first you soak the seeds.
Yep.
And then plant it, and then that is a start. When you already have a tree or something, you can start from the new leaf bud stage, and or when you transplant, start with a transplanting, soak the roots in the HB101, and then transplant it, so that HB101 will reduce the transplant shock.
It's all organic too. It says right there, completely organic, but as a concentrate too. Organics usually are typically more diluted. It's really concentrated.
It is
2.5 milliliters per 4 liters.
Yes, actually, yes, that is the strongest solution. But usually, I suggest to use 2 milliliter per 3 gallons of water.
Holy smokes, that's
Listen up.
that's so
Holy
concentrated.
smokes, Batman.
But so listen, when you first told me what we're giving our callers too, that you said you have a 100 milliliter bottle of
Yes.
HB101, 10 of them to give out tonight. So the next 10 callers tonight are going to get a 100 milliliter bottle to use it. How many gallons does that make?
150 gallons of solution.
At her recommended 2 mils per 3 gallons.
Yes.
It's like
100 divided by 2 is 50 times 3 is 150 gallons.
There we go.
What was it? 0.6 mils per gallon.
And what
Six,
you're
six,
going to have
six,
increased
six.
vigor. You're going to take away some of the shock of your plants. I've also seen studies that you guys have published that you increase terpene content in different berry varieties and different flowering plants.
Could you paraphrase it again?
The
Bricks level.
the bricks level.
Bricks, yes, bricks.
Yeah, so
And
an
then-
increase in bricks, so you get more trikes.
Yes, and then actually,
More sugar, baby.
From last year, I work with the farmers here in California. They're commercial growers, strawberries, raspberries, blackberries, and blueberries. And on the field, I brought the device.
The bricks meter?
Bricks meter. And then I measure the bricks with the control plant without HB101 and grown with HB101. And there is an obvious difference of the bricks level values, and HB101 increases.
And that's just from the
bricks
overall
value.
health of the plant.
Shazam!
How about using less of my fertilizers if I use HB101? Do I use my regular strength or do I cut it back?
When we do the research of HB101 at the Earth Fort, that is the research institute specialized in soil analysis, and then the researcher over there said that you can reduce the usage of fertilizer. However, I do not know exactly how much you can reduce your fertilizer. So when you
It's
use
probably plant specific, right?
Right,
Some
right,
plants,
exactly,
you
right,
can
right,
reduce it more than
right.
others.
So you can, when you in the course of growing your plants, you might
The
reduce
chronic. You could call it the chronic. Masako, say the chronic.
chronic,
Yeah, when you're growing the chronic.
grow the chronic.
Yeah,
That is, if you're continuously growing.
yep.
Okay, growing chronic, you will see how much you can reduce your fertilizer.
And you know, we have a question from Growella that about HB101. Growella, are you there?
I'm here, ma'am.
What
Hey.
up, Growella?
What's going on, Growelly?
Man.
Holla!
Holla, Chlorella the Growella.
Growella.
You're on with Masako and the team. What's going on?
So how much of this would I put in to my hydroponics per gallon?
She just told you, fool, 2 mils per 3 gallons.
I've been on the phone listening to you all. I thought,
Listen,
like,
Linda,
it's
That's
like
the
delayed or
maximum
something,
side of it.
'cause I'm only hearing you guys now.
That's her recommended dosage, player.
However, you can reduce the.
I'm sorry, did you say you recommend 2 mils per 3 gallons?
Yes, that is
Okay,
the
I was just
start.
making sure because this
Yes.
guy said you didn't.
Okay, before you guys arm wrestle each
Yeah.
other
Which
to the
one
death.
is it?
You know what? I'm going to take a break.
It's the president.
Union time!
The president of the company right now is telling us it's 2 milliliters per 3 gallons.
2 milliliters per 3 gallons.
Yep, and you know I'm going to send you a 100 milliliter little sample of it. And with hydroponics, so do we put it in our reservoir or do we
Yes.
drench it in? Is it in there continuously? Is what I'm asking.
Yeah. So when you use HB101 for your reservoir, probably you would like to mix 20 milliliter per 100 gallons
All right.
of water.
All right, you got that, Growella?
Yeah, 20 mil per 100.
That's what you're doing, and I'm going to send you some business. I'm going to send you the 100 milliliter HB101.
Yeah.
I'm also going to send you some Rapid Start from GH and some Floralicious Plus, but so your plants
what's
stay
up,
nice
man.
and tasty. Thanks so much.
Thank
Growly.
you.
Bye. 562-653-0707. I mean, if someone wanted a sample, they can't get one of these 10. How does someone get a sample of HB101? Do they contact you online, go into their local hydro shop? Because I've seen these, you have little 5 milliliters that treat several gallons that people could try out. And you put it in there, but they're all over the place.
Oh, there you can find those free samples at the hydroponic stores or garden centers where the HB101 is sold.
All right.
Or go online and then ask us to send.
That's great. Go to HB-101USA.com. Masako Yamamoto, president of Flora USA Inc. I appreciate your time. Use HB101 to increase the bricks levels. The next 9 callers are getting hooked up with a sample. Thank you so much, very much, for coming in.
Thank you.
We got to pay these bills and take a quick break. Check out these messages from our sponsors. Have a safety meeting. We'll be right back. Heavy T's Grow Show on DFCRadio.com.
DFCRadio.com.
Are you ready to start cloning but don't know where to start? HDI has you covered, the only propagation-focused company. HDI was founded in 1997 and is the master distributor of Clonex throughout North America, like the Clonex rooting gel, which has been on the market since 1988, EPA registered and approved for use on food crops and cannabis. It's the only rooting gel approved by the Washington and Colorado Department of Agriculture for propagating cannabis plants, used by thousands of plant nurseries, commercial growers, scientists, and greenhouse growers with billions of clones successfully rooted. That's Clonex rooting gel. But healthy clones start with healthy mothers. And with Mother Plant from HDI, you are fulfilling the nutritional needs of mother plants without excess nitrates, supporting strong, vibrant clones. And now you're ready for some Clonex Mist, a ready-to-use foliar spray for mother plants, cuttings, and rooting clones. Pop your clones into Root Riot plant starter cubes, and they are safe for use in hydroponic systems and are a proprietary blend of micronutrients that is certified food safe. And don't forget to add the mycorrhiza with Clonex Root Maximizer, a mycorrhizae fungi, beneficial bacteria, and trichoderma that increases the surface area of your plant's roots, allowing the plants to access more nutrients and water. And don't forget to feed with Clonex Clone Solution, formulated for rooted clones and seedlings, a special blend of minerals and vitamins that encourage rapid root development. So no matter what your propagation needs are, remember HDI has you covered. Check them out at hydrodynamicsintl.com. That's hydrodynamicsintl.com.
Dilly Heavy T Grow Show. But dilly.
Dr. Duffman here. Wanted to talk to you about what I wish I had in my garden. And that, my friends, is a Nanolux double-ended fixture, which is leading the industry as I speak in double-ended technology. I will no longer need 10 150-watt lights to cover my 5x5 area. With just one double-ended fixture from Nanolux, I can cover that area. Also, no more need for that pesky Richter timer of mine that goes off at all kinds of random hours. With Nanolux's fixture, it comes NCCS ready, meaning I can control it on my computer. So if you're like me and your lighting situation sucks, then upgrade to Nanolux's double-ended fixtures today, and don't be a duff man. For more information on Nanolux, check them out at nanoluxtech.com. That's NANOLUXTECH.com.
So you're big time, huh?
Yeah, kinda.
You are listening to the Heavy T Grow Show. Call in right now, 562-653-0707, for your chance to talk to Heavy T, Horty Chris, or Dr. Duffman. Killing it.
Launch crew, ready to reservoir.
What's the load factor, sir?
Bringing the Rhizoblast liquid at 2 mils per gallon.
Okay, sir. We are loaded and ready to launch.
10, 9.
Okay, men. It's time to blast off into the plant's root zone and into another galaxy of root growth.
Rhizoblast is a proprietary blend of seaweed and the single-celled algae chlorella. Chlorella's abundance of amino acids and minerals contribute to its value in hydroponics. The benefits used in Rhizoblast are explosive root growth, the use with any growing medium or hydro system, its ideal use for transplanting, and the enhancement of your plant vigor in fast-flowering plants. Let your plants have a blast and see a world of a difference with Rhizoblast from Botanicare. Check it out at www.botanicare.com.
Yo, Kelly, pass me that blunt, you feel me? Mm-hmm.
Have you ever been interested in gardening with dry fertilizers? Well, you're not the only one, and let me tell you about Vermicrop Organics and their line of organic dry fertilizers. Healthy plants with a simple 4-step process. Step 1. Just measure out a half teaspoon per gallon of soil or 2 cups per 12 square feet of soil surface area. Step 2. Apply evenly to the soil surface. Step 3. Blend into the top layer of soil to avoid caking. Step 4. Water thoroughly. And that's it, simple as that. Great for vegetables, fruits, flowers, potted plants, trees, shrubs, annuals, and perennials. It's Vermicrop Organics VermiVeg 744. Along with the Vermi Bloom and PK Boost, you will have a complete line of organic nutrients and a garden that will thank you with a great harvest. Looking for an even simpler way? Then check out the Vermiall 666. This game-changing mix is formulated for all stages of growth in the fast-paced garden of champion vegetable and flower growers. And check out the Vermi Bat Guano Fertilizer and the Vermi Blood Meal Fertilizer for feeding oversized, nitrogen-hungry plants. Learn more at vermicrop.com. That's vermicrop.com.
DFCRadio.com.
Yeah, I'm in the studio with my nephew, Prav, on the track. This on emo, baby. I'm a bad mom, I'm a OG. I'm a 60-year-old with a bad knee. I smoke that till I can't see. Everybody trying to get with me. I'm a bad mom, I'm a OG. I'm a 60-year-old with a bad knee. I smoke that till I can't see. Everybody trying to get with me. I got that Benz, I got that Jag, I got that money that never ever ends. When I step out, it's party time, and I be loaded out my god mind. I spend my cash, and I always got my stash. I wanna be like currency and smoke up all them trees. I don't be frontin', I don't be stuntin', I be getting mine all the time. I'm living hard, I party harder, I be rolling like there ain't no tomorrow. I'm a bad mom, I'm a OG, I'm a 60-year-old with a bad knee. I smoke that till I can't see. Everybody trying to get with me. I'm a bad mom, I'm a OG, I'm a 60-year-old with a bad knee. I smoke that till I can't see. Everybody trying to get with me. I went to 9, I did my time, but I lost my mind. I'm doing fine, and I got mine. They pay me all the time. Life is good, God is great, and my money ain't never late. I work real hard, I never quit, and I'm always getting mine. I got that gold, I got that soul, and I'm really just too bold. I'm a gangster, I'm a hustler, and I never stop as long as I can bustle up. I'm a bad mom, I'm a OG, I'm a 60-year-old with a bad knee. I smoke that till I can't see. Everybody trying to get with me. I'm a bad mom, I'm a OG, I'm a 60-year-old with a bad knee. the best. You just ain't heard the rest. I talk that, I live that, and of course you know I smoke that. I feel like a mother, feel like a mother, feel like a bad mother. Yeah. I feel like a mother, feel like a mother, feel like a bad mother. I'm a real and a bad me, and nobody ain't gonna ever mess with me, cause I real do feel like a bad me, cause I'm just a OG. I'm a bad mom, I'm a OG, I'm a 60-year-old with a bad knee. I smoke that till I can't see, everybody trying to get with me. I'm a bad mom, I'm a OG, I'm a 60-year-old with a bad knee. I smoke that till I can't see, everybody trying to get with me. I'm a bad mom, I'm a OG, I'm a 60-year-old with a bad knee. I smoke that till I can't see, everybody trying to get with me. I'm a bad mom, I'm a OG, I'm a 60-year-old with a bad knee. I smoke that till I can't see, everybody trying to get with me.
If I'm rolling up some trees, you can smoke with me. I like the blunt. I like the blunt. If I'm rolling up some trees, you can smoke with me. I like the blunt. I like the blunt. Rest in peace, Bob Marley. My blunt got a cold cut, Steve Harvey. I catch the buds with my glove, Steve Garvey. Quick to roll in the club, cause we party. They asking where the bomb at, cause everybody in the club smell that. It's Breeze, get loaded TV, smoke about a pound every day of the week. Rolling so fast you didn't see him coming your way. Turned around and there was a blunt up in your face. You must have thought that I was finished. The Breeze is never stingy with the spinach. Rolling up some trees, you can smoke with me. I like the blunt. I like the blunt. If I'm rolling up some trees, you can smoke with me. I like the blunt. I like the blunt.
I love the stickiest weed, cause I'm a Cali baby. Started from that chocolate tie from them early 80s. Now it's OG, a perfect mix with my OE. The shot of lean had a G moving slowly. Apparently you ain't never smoked like me. Loading these switches up like they was some magazines. I got some bad bitches rolling up blunts for me. Hop in the rotation, true story you can see. Even your bitch eyeballing wanna hit the tree. Smoking on weed, living life with my homie Breeze. I got that green thumb, I grow my own fucking weed. And if I got some problems, I'm hitting heavy tea.
Rolling up some trees, you can smoke with me. I like the blunt. I like the blunt. If I'm rolling up some trees, you can smoke with me. I like the blunt. I like the blunt.
dfzradio.com.
Yeah, those chairs over there behind you, Bob.
That chair's broken.
Oh.
Well.
It wasn't. Welcome back, Heavy T's Grow Show, you dig? We got St. Diesel behind the boards, making sure it stays nice and hot up in here tonight.
Hell yeah, I did. I get you guys warmed up. Yeah.
I like how we just leave the door open to the studio and let all the cold air that accumulates out.
That works the best.
By next break, they'll be back in here with all the hot air that we're spewing. Welcome back, Heavy T's Grow Show. Check it out. Reminder that everyone, the next 9 callers that call in, get a 100 milliliter sample of HB 101.
Yeah.
Masako wanted you to know when you're growing the chronic, it's going to enhance photosynthesis and also microbial activity within the soil when you use it. Nice. So, good stuff. I'm looking forward to trying it out myself.
Definitely.
Jiggity Jerome said he did try it, and it causes him, he's so cool that he tried it, he has to wear a snow cap in the middle of summer in the studio.
Right. Dude,
how's it going, Snow Cap
smart
Jerome?
pot. Oh, why wouldn't I not wear it? Like, if there's pot that makes you smart, then fuck yeah.
And yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I think it improves my vision.
Our next guests are hanging out. We got Joe and Andrew in the house, but what we are going to be talking about is their products from Primordial Solutions.
Nice.
Before we do that, I know a lot of you have been hanging out for a little while on hold, so we're going to do a little rapid fire about your problemas. Jason, what's going on?
What's going on, bro?
Hey, man, thanks for hanging out for so long. You're on,
yeah,
dude.
I had a question about mites. I left for a week, and I left my brother-in-law to take care of my tent. And when I came back, there was like spider webs all over the shit.
Oh, man.
He definitely did it in that week.
He sabotaged it.
They probably weren't there beforehand. So
no, they weren't. Everything was all good. I was using super soil. All he had to do was water that shit, and I don't know what the hell.
Shit. Maybe he got a girl off Backpages, and she came over and she had some funk. But nonetheless, let's help you out a little bit. You have webs going plant to plant or branch to branch already?
Yeah, and it's all over the bud too.
That's
like is it tough? Do I still have a chance, or?
I mean, do you still have it? By the time you get webs, it's probably too late. If you're in the final stages of bloom, and you could kill them and wash them off potentially, and limp to the end. I mean, that is an option. But if your plants are in the first couple weeks of bloom, I'd murk those things and get some new ones. Once you have webs, it's typically too late.
It was about to be cut down like in 2-3 weeks. So
oh, man, you're going to have to get down with it. What do you guys think? Late stage mite infestation, kill it or try to salvage it? Go ahead, Andrew.
No. Sorry, you don't get to say anything.
Never. Joe, when you say whatever you say, just like you told your wife on your wedding night, talk into the mic.
Okay, so this is the thing. So unfortunately, because none of us are CPAs, no one from my company is actually allowed to say anything about that. And as much as I'd love to be able to say something, the Department of Agriculture in California kind of makes it illegal.
Oh shit.
So I'd love to be able to help you, and I've honestly considered even resigning from working in fertilizer just so I could tell people what they needed to know about dealing with issues, because it's literally illegal for us to actually help anyone.
Wow.
And if we're involved in fertilizer companies, I mean, you can do it illegally, but the funny thing about it is the state, the EPA says that anything that's if you have any product, and it doesn't matter if it's natural, doesn't matter if it's safe, whatever, if its purpose is for anything other than what's it say on this bottle of HB 101, it says for anything other than to enhance plant growth and vigor, you can't say anything else. Literally, cannot say anything else legally about your product. So that is the problem. That's one of the limitations that we have as fertilizer companies, to be completely honest.
Joe, outside of talking about the Primordial products, as a grower, in your own personal opinion, at late stage, if you have a mite infestation where we have the
I would look for a way to induce production of class 2 and 4 chitinases in the plant tissue. That's how I would deal with it.
Even with a week and a half, 2 weeks
if
left.
you don't know how to do that, then you're screwed. Yeah.
Okay, we may talk about how to do that later on in the program, though. So stay tuned, Jason. At this stage, though, it's either murk them or try and clean them off. If you kill them or you use some type of quick-acting pesticide, you're going. Just 1 second, I'll let you say it, Joe. But you're going to have carcasses. You're going to have their shit. You're going to have those webs. and whatnot. And if you go to a cleaning type of system, and not necessarily enhancing production within the plant of anything, Joe, but if you go to a cleaning, then you're potentially washing off, the psychoactives or degrading the trichomes, or even leading to bud mold and stuff. It's a catch-22 of what you want to do.
Right.
What did you want to say?
Well, I'd say that you said you left and everything was fine, and then you came back and everything was like just totally destroyed. And I'm wondering if you've considered the replication rate of mites in relation to temperature, because I know it's been really hot recently. So this explosion of pests is probably related more over to an increase in the temperature and a failure of your ventilation.
I would think that they were probably already there doing their thing on a smaller scale, and then the heat just sped everything up. I wouldn't blame your brother-in-law that was just supposed to water them.
Do you have pets?
Yeah, mites.
I got a dog. Yeah.
There you go. Your dog brought home mites.
How do you know? Maybe his brother or whoever he asked to take care of the shit had mites.
Well, he don't like you very much, too, by the way.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, man, you got two options. If you don't have clones on point and you go to a nursery or something to get some clones, you're looking at a few weeks of veg time and getting those prepped to go into bloom. So might be just fuck it. Cut your loss. Finish these out. Cut your losses. Clean the entire area. If it's just a tent or in where you live, I wouldn't use any type of heavy pesticides or anything. You can give everything a good wiping down with like a 99% isopropyl alcohol. Sterilize everything as much as possible. I would toss probably all my pots and stuff away because that's a small investment on a small little grow like that, and rather than trying to clean them. And then try to sterilize every piece of grow of equipment you have, and then implement an IPM program, that integrated pest management program from Jump Street, that is going to mitigate any problems, whether the temperature goes up, whether you go on vacation. And that's what your IPM is designed to do, is make sure that your plants are healthy the entire way through. It's not where an expert grower or someone that's been doing this a long time doesn't have to deal with mites, doesn't have to deal with pathogen, doesn't have to deal with fucking whatever it is, rabbits, whatever it is. They still have to deal with it, right, Jason? They just recognize it before it gets to a point that it's detrimental, or they have already gone through it and know how to defer it or mitigate the problems through their IPM management, right? So they can eliminate some of the worries, but not all of them. And especially if you're using things that or using things that are overused on the market, things can build up resistance to it. And a lot of the over-the-counter pesticides this has happened with. And, so using biologicals, using organics, using things to increase the vigor and the health of the plant, basically increase the plant's natural defenses is a great way to prevent that from Jump Street, right?
21 Jump Street,
and
Johnny Depp.
There's things that we could talk about to do that we are going to get into a deep conversation about it. But it's what you want to do, Jason. Horty, Jiggity, Jerome, you got anything to add?
I've always been a fan of organics. The thing is you could develop a tolerance to certain types of pesticides that are anywhere from azadirachtin to whatever it may be. But when you have something that's like a bacillus or something that the actual bug's going to ingest, there's no way. It's just like humans. We're never going to be immune to the cold or the flu. So it's like things like that actually.
No, actually, Bacillus thuringiensis, because the BT corn, like the Monsanto took Bacillus thuringiensis and put that into the corn, and it actually has been shown in the Midwest that it's starting. There's resistance that is showing up to.
I'm
BT
just talking about straight cannabis listeners.
Yeah,
but
the bugs are showing
resistance. Yeah,
are gaining resistance. So
or
even
immunity.
Even with this is one thing that isn't honestly organics. Resistance in pest and pathogen populations are developed even in relation to organics. So it's not like chemicals only have this property where they stop becoming effective. Any method that you're using to deal with it, which is why an integrated pest management is important. Using different methods to control the same thing is the best way to keep them from building up immunity. So it's great that there's someone out there giving that sort of advice to cannabis.
Well, and can we all agree as well? The cornerstone of IPM is the plant health, the plant vigor. I mean, you could have all the poisons in the world, and whether organic or synthetic, and if you have an unhealthy plant, you're not going to stop the fucking apocalypse from raining down on that plant. unhealthy plant is going to be murked one way or the other. The overall health of the plant is a cornerstone of a strong IPM regimen.
Okay.
All right. Jason, check it out. I'm going to send you some smart pots, right? During the hot summer months, a smart pot helps keep your root zone up to 30 degrees cooler. If you've got your plants in a plastic pot, it's like you going outside in the heat wearing a trash bag, right? You're going to sweat your balls off. You're going to be unhealthy. You're going to be tired. You're not going to be up to your full potential. A smart pot is like wearing a wet cotton T-shirt out in that same temperature, right? It's going to keep it cool. You're going to feel a lot better about it. Same goes for the root zone. You keep your root zone happy, and you hear it overused. More roots, more fruits, or healthier roots, healthier fruits. But it's true. Everything starts with a good foundation down below the soil line. Smart Pots helps make that happen. Go to smartpots.com to learn more about it. And then I'm going to send you the entire line of Mission Fertilizer, all organic. Go to missionfertilizer.com. And remember, bulk soil from Sanctuary Soil is still rolling throughout the state. So if you want your bulk soil deliveries, go to bulksoil.com. Thanks, Jason. Oh,
Cool,
HB 101
appreciate
too. My bad. HB 101 100 mil.
Appreciate it.
All right. Smoke them if you got it. That was not rapid fire, was it, Horty?
No.
Hey, everyone's got.
If we plug in a couple more mics, we can probably get through these calls even faster.
Well, let's go. Let's do this.
All right, rapid fire on this one. Let's go.
Cody from LBC.
Cut
More
everyone
bugs.
else off.
More bugs. More bugs.
Oh, hey.
Yes.
What bugs are actually good for your plants?
Oh, there's a lot of them. You wanna start it off?
I use a concoction of Swirsky, Californicus mites. I'm not very good at pronouncing names, but I call them
it's pronounced heavy
hypothesis mites. I put into the actual medium.
Hypothesis mites.
Whatever the fuck I could. Hey, I'll show you my
hypothetical
order.
bees.
I personally order from
logical ladybugs.
What is it?
Logicus
Gardening
ladybugus.
Zone. You could use the code GoodBugsRock for 10% off. I use a lot of different nematodes. The Sterilive, Fertilia, whatever the fuck. I'm not a scientist, but the SF.
Spinosad.
I couldn't say it any better, bro.
Hey, all these words I couldn't tell you how to pronounce because I haven't met somebody.
I
smart
use all
enough
these
to
words
pronounce
with the
them yet.
correctivity they're intended for.
There's a lot of beneficial.
Going to any events or anything?
What's that?
Events.
You guys ever go to any events?
We're talking about bugs.
Yeah, we're
why you got free tickets?
Next he's gonna be like, do you like Captain Crunch berries or just peanut butter Captain Crunch?
Yeah, we go to events, man. What's the next one that's popping that you're at?
I'm like stoned as shit right now.
Don't worry about it, player. Hey, yeah, I prefer saltwater pools.
Me too. I'm going to send you some great heavy tea swag, including some of the HB 101 and some of the other stuff from our other sponsors. And check it out. Remember, HB 101, hb-101.com to learn more about it. Muchas gracias. Predatory nematodes in the root zone. If you can use those, keep a lot of soil-dwelling insects at bay. Anything that is in a larvae stage, it pretty much takes care of, including up to the size of a grub. So predatory nematodes are part of my IPM regimen, and that includes, we talked about it a little bit on the last call, but your IPM includes not just what you're putting onto the plant, but also into the soil, and not just food, but certain things that can help deter soil-dwelling insects. Most insects
Deter or detour? Detour. Spinosad. Spinosad.
Most insects spend part of their life down in the soil, so you got to be on top of it.
On my spinach.
Spin on your spinach. We got a female caller who wants to talk to Horty. Alicia.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Hello.
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 All right. Yes, I'm here.
Yes, I am. What's
All
your
right.
question?
So I'm prepared because I know you guys are about to talk crazy to me, but I have a dilemma. I had a first-time grower. Plant was beautiful. Had to move. Drove to Arkansas. Was there for a week. Now watered her really good. Put a fan on and everything. Had the air on. Come back, and she looks dead. Some of the, it's kind of dry looking. The branches are kind of brown and green, and some of the leaves are green and some are brown. Is there any way at all I can possibly save her or just trash them, start over?
Yeah, one thing you can do, whenever I maybe I'm slacking and I'm like, oh, I need to go water that plant or those plants, and then I go and I see that they're kind of limped over and the leaves are kind of falling down.
The branches are brown.
Yeah, I know, but she said some of them are still green, so there may be some that aren't completely dead. So what I would do is I would take a spray bottle of water and I would spray the leaves to get the leaves that still look green wet to kind of try to shut off the roots for a minute, because when it rains and the plant's leaves get wet, they kind of tell the roots, hey, it's raining, I'm getting saturated, so I don't need to keep trying to pull water up. So if you spray the plant down with water and then kill the light and then water just with water the plant, no fertilizer, but just re-moisten the medium and turn the light off for 6 to 8 hours. Unless you're in bloom, then turn it off for 12 to keep your light cycle. But turn off the lights and re-moisten the medium after you've sprayed it down with water, and see if the plants regain their
growth.
If they stand back up, if the leaves come back up, the dead ones won't. But if some of the green ones do, the plant may be able to be saved.
I could do all that and include a sacrificial chicken, and then it coming back once it's brown.
Well, I got a little hope for you. I had a friend's dad that grew a plant up on the roof, and they harvested their plant.
And
they
then
left
roof was on fire.
Well, no, this thing looked like a menorah-ass looking skeleton of a plant up there. He just left it up there.
Oh, that was that Hebrew Kush.
No, check this out. I've never seen this. I don't know if anybody else has had this happen, but after about a year, I went back up there, and this plant had not been watered, nothing. Out of nowhere, it was just flourishing like a motherfucker. There's leaves all over
and
it.
behold.
Because it's a Hebrew Kush, dude.
Is it because it's a weed?
No, it's because it's Hebrew Kush.
For you, Alicia, and for the other listeners,
this is true shit,
if your plant it looks extremely wilted, absolutely right. Don't come and think that you're going to have necessarily some type of fertilizer or anything that's going to bring it back. Try to rehydrate it. The plant is like a big hydraulic, and the fluid in the plant is water. Once it becomes dehydrated, that fluid's gone. You'll notice the limbs become limp, and that's why. We need to try to get that fluid back in there before we start actually feeding the plant. And I'm sorry, sweetheart, but if the branches are brown and, like you said, dead, it's probably dead. But if you want to give it some water,
the branches are brown and some of the parts of the branches are green.
If you want to give it some water,
like I said,
then give it some water. Okay,
spray it with a spray bottle, water it with just water.
Horty,
turn the light off.
Tell her what she gets, Horty.
She wins some HB 101
and some smart pots. Let's send her some original green pads as well.
That as well.
Hell yeah!
How you like me now?
And hey, stay tuned, Alicia. We have a giveaway coming up from Primordial Solutions of a 64-ounce Paleo Bloom and also a Terp Jerp. We're going to find out about these products right now, so stay tuned, okay?
Okay, thank you guys for your advice.
And see, we were respectful to these lady growers.
That's right.
Nothing but respect once we got rid of Duff. He gone. Bye.
All right, one more rapid fire?
No, let's get in with Joe and Andrew over here. Man, Joe, dropping science bombs already and talking about it. Let's welcome Joe Johnson. He's the CEO and Chief Science Officer for ABC Organics, Inc. That's Primordial Solutions. It's been around basically since the 80s, right? The mid-80s?
The ABC Organics has. Yes, ABC Organics has been around since mid-80s. And Primordial Solutions was, we launched it after deciding to go direct to stores and from ABC Organics, because we'd created a product line and we'd given it to some distributors in the market, and it didn't work out too well that way, so we decided to go direct so we could provide better service to our customers.
And more knowledge probably as well, right? I mean, a distributor puts in their catalog, they tell the people what you tell them to tell them about it in like a paragraph in the catalog, but if they have questions...
if they had done that, it would have been fine.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, obviously with something that's advanced and maybe not common thought to people who grow, if you have a product that's unique and does certain things and the customer can't find out, like they can't get all the benefits of it from the people who are putting it out, it's probably not as beneficial that way. So
yeah, I think that one of the problems we have in this industry is just a lot of people trying to push products instead of an understanding of how those products work.
Right.
And what I've seen a lot with a lot of products, even companies that have like say 5 PhDs behind them, like say Mammoth Microbes, right? Those guys, I mean, I read their collective work, like 200 papers that they published, and they've done some really remarkable work. But when it comes to the message that I've seen sometimes be put out by the people that end up talking, or the customer ends up interacting, that's where there can be a problem a lot of times, where they'll start saying things that aren't either accurate or true or just
misinterpreted.
Well, you know, it's not every day that we have a president or a CEO of the company come in and want to talk. They usually will send their sales rep in and to represent it. And I appreciate you coming through to make sure that Primordial is represented accurately. Before we accurately. That's English. Yeah. Long Beach Public School System, baby.
I don't want to detour from the situation.
Detour.
But my spinach.
The French are in. No resistance to the English language.
That's right. Chlorella.
Before we get down with it, Joe, what's your background, man? Like, you've been a grower.
I've done a lot of
degrees in this.
Fucking reincarnation.
He looks like a fucking hippie.
He looks like Jesus.
My background was basically I have since I got out of college I've been interested basically in how and kind of just understanding how everything works.
Take control of that thing.
Sorry, all right, we got it. All right, okay. So here's the mic. Anyways, no, I mean
nice grip.
I guess you could say I was a commercial. What I was doing right before I was working with ABC Organics. I was working as a landscaper and building filtration systems for ponds. So I built biofiltration systems effectively for very large scale pools where there's people that had way too much money and not enough sense and wanted something that wasn't chlorine based to keep their ponds clear, or swimming pools with no chlorine. They wanted,
like saltwater pools, or
no, actually freshwater.
Freshwater, but keeping it clean. That's one hell of a filtration system.
Like koi ponds and stuff too.
Right. So yeah, I build like basically filtration systems for koi ponds and duck ponds where there's animals crapping in them constantly. Wow. And have the water be perfectly clear, like just 100% clear, no ppm, zero. So I was using plants to do this. So it was a process of the plants and the bacterium and the aggregate around the root zone of those plants that allowed this process to happen, where you could take literally poop water and make it clean enough to drink. It's literally the water that would come out of the systems was cleaner than what would come out of my faucet, back at home. And so that was what I was doing before. But I could go in my background. It's kind of a long story, but I could say that basically I've since I was a child been studying or trying to gain an understanding of the way that nature worked, because this is what is fascinating for me. It's being out in nature and seeing plants grow and see the process, the interaction between different.
How the flow of everything binds us all together and whatnot.
Right. But more from a very I guess you could say that's what I felt that this thing existed, and so I wanted to justify it scientifically more so. It just really, I could see that I was seeing things happening and that there were relations and between all the things in any ecosystem or any environment, and I wanted to understand what the hell was going on.
You want to understand the symbiosis-ness.
Well, I mean, you're getting close to 0 ppm, strictly using plants to filter out koi ponds and ponds that anyone that's at a fish tank knows how rancid that's going to get in a week's time. Now imagine a pond outside with large animals in it. That's going to get nasty.
Agricultural, like from the fertilizer from the lawn runs into the pond.
How do I keep raccoons from coming to my koi pond and eating their heads off?
Get rid of your koi.
Dog, yeah.
It does it for me. I don't need to.
Or you can put little laser beams on their foreheads.
Yeah.
The fish.
A motion sensor with a sprinkler. That works too.
Yep.
Yeah, that does work.
I have it. I had that happen.
Yeah.
They slaughtered everything in one bite.
Working towards that, teaming up with ABC Organics and who was it, John over there that you teamed up with?
No, so John Agulia was, he created the company. So I started working with him in around 2008. And at that point, John had passed away and he had left behind the company, and his widow was trying to sell the company off. And I was like, wow, this is really interesting. And when I looked at his research and what he had done, and I'm like, you really shouldn't sell this.
Right, let me help you keep it going.
I'm like, I'll tell you what, I'll make you a deal. Instead of buying it from you, I'll come and see if I can figure out how he was doing what he was doing, because he had done a lot of research, and there was like, you know, old school Japanese growers that had been in our area for a long time. They were very well respected, that had faith in what he had done, even though what he said he was doing was completely impossible, because it had to do with microorganisms in agriculture. And even just 10 years ago, that was people that worked with bacteria were called, you know, snake oil salesmen constantly. And it was this fringe thing that we did, but, you know, in Asia they've been doing it for a long time. You know, here they're saying, you know, that doesn't work. All that works is chemicals. And so John's research was, at least for that time, very revolutionary. And I guess to me it still is, because he was still a couple steps ahead of what I see them teaching people in the universities, and it's a more complex perspective on things. And the reason why that's important is if you're making a product, you know, that's going to work in agriculture, you're talking about, when you say agriculture, that's a really big word, because you're talking about 38 different thousand.
How many syllables is that?
Well,
that's more
it's
syllables.
a big topic because
it's
you're
agriculture.
talking 38,000 soil types here in the U.S. alone. So if you're saying I make a product, you're saying that works in agriculture, and you're saying it works in 38,000 soil types, and then you say on how many different plants. Okay.
Right.
So you're making a really huge claim when you say that you have something that works in all those situations, and the truth is there is no agricultural
That's some
product.
levity on what you hear at hydro shops and stuff. For the listeners out there, think about that when the guy behind the hydro shop is telling you this is going to work in your native soil, this is going to be the same as what he saw on Instagram. That's not the truth. 38,000 different types of soil, all different types of plants. How can you stand behind a recommendation and know that it's going to be 100% right all the time? You can't.
Right. Well, there's some yeses to that, and there's some no's to that. But I'm just saying it's a big topic. Well, there's one guy in 1933, I believe, Redfield. He got a Nobel Prize. He did 20,000 analysis, 20,000 different sets of analysis on ocean and soil samples, and he was extracting the chemistry, the base chemistry of life that comes out of that he could find, like all the cell counts, like everything that was biological and living. He would extract that, and then he separated out what it was composed of as far as, you know, elements go.
Was the technology sufficient enough in 1933?
Yeah, he had ancient astronaut technology to do that.
I would say some of his stuff was actually better than what we use now.
Really?
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say we've gotten better at science. I think we're still humans.
Right?
We're still in the same relative level of, like,
which is
intelligence and
not understanding what was really going on.
Yeah, well, and he did. No, I mean, you should read his work, because he did have it nailed down. He used the same techniques that we use now, pretty much. We haven't really done much. The only thing we've done is change the branding on our science.
Well, is that the guy on the Super Thrive bottle?
No.
No. It's called Super Thrive.
Hey, I just saw Joe curl up his fist. I think he was going to punch you.
No, I actually
Super
like this.
Thrive.
I like Super Thrive. I think it's one of the best products on the market.
Well,
personally.
it has hypersine in it, which is the only product that can have that, which is one of the, from my understanding, is the third auxin that you can give a plant.
I think the main thing that makes it function is the naphthoacetic acid.
Is it?
Sterile.
I thought it was those crazy advertisements with all the little sentences all over the place.
I just bought it because the old timer. I was like, oh fuck yeah, dude! He won a state medal at a fair.
But so the main
Seems
functioning
legit.
part of, in your opinion, of working with Super Thrive, say that again.
Oh, naphthalene acetic acid. It's a plant hormone. It shuts down fungus. It deals with most of what you deal with.
NAA? No?
Yeah, NAA.
NAA,
Yeah, right.
okay.
And I mean, you can make it fairly simply, but I think a lot of the things that the rest of the products that are materials that are in his product have other places they show up in nature, and they're going to be in the soil to a certain amount if you've done composting and if you've grown there for more than one season. So. But the main thing that I see is its ability. The naphthalene acetic acid kind of it's like hitting a reset button on the biology. So like anything that was there that was not might be attacking your roots or whatever, it counteracts the activity of a lot of things that might be competing with your plant for nutrient space effectively.
Joe, you talked about going back and looking at John's research. Are the products that are available through Primordial, are they John's products that he developed, or did you expand on his work to bring these products to our industry?
Yeah, so when I first started making the products the products were exactly what he had done, but I started making the products was exactly what I understood them as I thought they were supposed to be done. But I started testing the product, what I'd produced, in a bunch of different environments, different crop types, different soil types, different countries, different climates, because I wanted to be able to be sure this was working, because so many people told me that biology is bullshit, doesn't work, this is a total crap.
And you're like, yeah, you guys are full of shit. But
I'm
let
like,
me
I don't
make
know,
sure
I'm
before I
testing it,
start
and it seems to be
claiming
working,
it, right?
so I don't know. So I did due diligence, and so like my first year. Working with ABC Organics, I was literally just pretty much just testing what I was trying to produce, what he had produced, and testing the results, because I had samples of what he had originally done, and then a bunch of information that he'd written down, or is like a library. So I had to I read his library, and I talked to other people that were involved with him. Several other I guess people from.
So
This dude's like the
True
Tesla of
Blooms,
fucking
or
plants.
Rudimentary, and the flagship Sea Green. When most people hear Primordial, they're going to be familiar with Sea Green.
Yeah. So
in the mic.
What makes it foam
Sea
so
Green,
much, dude? I had a huge mess the first.
Okay, slow
time.
down.
Why don't you just let him answer the first
Good old
question?
bubble bath.
Dude,
Sea Green
it
is
foams more like when I use
Sea
the
Green.
Sea
You
Green.
can hide a
Had
pool
yourself
in
a
that
bubble
head.
bath.
The products now are just an evolution. It was a process of development and testing and refining the processes or techniques that he had developed. That was it. So like now, Sea Green fits in a bottle. Originally, he didn't sell to like the home and garden market at all, because his product was not. You couldn't ship it. You couldn't put it anywhere. So. It was.
Why is that? Because it's living, and once you contain it, it's going to expand and explode.
Well, no. The thing is, because the cell count is so high that if they become active at all, like they would become active as they would normally be active, in say if you took a sample of the soil, if they became active at a standard level, they would expand out of the bottle, because their processes release gases, so that. If you have a closed container, then it expands and blows up.
Yeah, that's one of the.
So you had to sell it in accordions?
No,
right. Exactly.
That was not a bad idea.
We tried that. The accordions were too expensive.
Put a marker on that in case they come out with an accordion
They didn't like the
bottle.
noise. They didn't like the sound. The music was just.
I know, because Weird Al fucked it up for all of us.
Well, that's what.
The bottles and seal them, and then they expand to perfect.
Well, that's what I see with different things that have biological activity in it that are in liquid form. They're in a bottle. Most of the a lot of popular ones will be in powder form, because the liquid activates them. Or is it that they become? Does the liquid activate them? Is it the roots that activate them? Is it the mixture or the addition of molasses or humics? What
depends on which
the
organ
science
you're
behind
talking about.
Activating and keeping?
It depends on the organism.
What keeps them dormant in the bottle? Right.
Well, all the different. He's getting ready to tell you
how many
that
questions
depending
am I
on the
gonna
organ.
say?
Yeah, right.
Is that the simplified version?
Calm down.
Yeah. Hey, can you cut off Duff, Jiggity
Duff Jr.
Diggity
Jiggity
Duff
Duff.
over here?
He's good.
Okay, so the thing is, I don't think that so much matters, because it's not necessary for the understanding of the function of what the culture does. I mean, the product is simply designed to be a concentrated set of cells that are encased with humic acids, and humic and fulvic acids and different plant polymers, and designed so that when you put it into water, it spreads out. That huge cell count spreads out and can be dispersed over a wide area of land. So that's what it's there for. So if it's foaming, you're using too much. That would be my answer. Use less. I know they say to use a lot of product, and I know they put that on the bottle, and that's part of what was been registered for a long time, but literally I just use a half a mil a gallon.
Dang.
If I'm going in water. Now, if I'm going into heavy soil, I might use 3 mils a gallon if literally I absolutely had to hydrate plants that were like falling down, dropped over, and ready to say goodnight. I might use that much, but generally I just use as much as is necessary to make sure that the plant is transpiring. So if the plant's leaves aren't lifted up, the plant's not respiring, the plant's not growing, it's not, the hydraulic pressure is backwards. So the plant's growth depends on it being able to draw water out of the ground. So one of the things that Sea Green does is when you put it in the ground, it literally makes that process easier. So if you have a situation where they're not being able to drink water and they're drying out, they're getting crispy because of either high salts or you're in clay, so you have a lot of pressure that you have to overcome, negative pressure, because of the amount of particles, the particle or the surface area of the clay and its adhesion with the water. Right. So if you're in that sort of situation, the Sea Green really helps because it'll allow you to drive water into the plant, whereas otherwise it would be, it'd be
Is that
desiccating.
referred
Amen.
to as osmotic pressure?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did your microphone get back on?
Sorry.
I don't know. I've been waiting. I've been trying to fuck with sign language.
That's
He said yes,
that's
motherfucker.
osmitic. That's osmitic, not osmotic.
Whatever, dude.
Osum-
It is
osmite?
what it is, but I know what you're talking about with the
Right.
pressure inside the plant. Absolutely, it's it's very beneficial. That's why a lot of people don't understand. Like, for me, one of the biggest problems is all nutrients technically are salts at one point. If you left any liquid nutrient out at one point, it evaporates. There's a salt there, and when that translates to the roots, a lot of people don't realize a lot of times when you're flushing a plant down and leaching that stuff out, I know so many people that do not know what the fuck a flush is. And flushing all those minerals out of the plant, for me, especially in like rockwool, I don't like to have typically runoff in the cubes even during like a lights on cycle till the last feeding of the day, because I want those plants to hit a certain saturation point. And at the last feeding, I kind of flush those minerals to stabilize, because at that point I feel like the plant has already taken what it needs. And no matter what, there's going to be some salt content no matter what in the cubes.
Well, I don't want to get deep.
yeah.
I don't want to get too deep, but I do want to bring in someone
And
to the
then we found out
conversation.
Hades had
Can I speak,
13
please?
levels.
Shut this guy off too. Both these guys. Let me talk to the brick shithouse micro pusher known as Tim Couch, formerly of the Cleveland Browns.
Woo! Good. I've been here the whole time.
We know, bro. We just didn't want to talk to you yet.
I'm used
What up,
to listening
Timmy?
to.
You
He's
listen.
good. I retain a lot of information from that guy.
Listen to our gasacious giants known as Jiggity and Horty. Hey, you are a product specialist over there. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the product for the listeners, the layman's out there? We got the scientist Joe here, Andrew's here, but you're out there and you used it.
Yeah, I could break it down in some layman's terms. With sea green, it's really simple. It's like hard to mess up with it. Anything that's going wrong in a plant, usually sea green has the chance to make you get out of whatever slump the plant's in, whether you foliar spray it or feed it. I think that's kind of like the hidden thing about sea green is a lot of people underestimate it about the foliar spray.
Well, Tim, I talk to a lot of growers all the time on the show, at the shops, everywhere, and it seems like a go-to on application is brewing this into a tea, making it available through a tea form. Is that ideally what we want to do, and does it have to be activated somehow?
Well, technically, sea green can be considered concentrated compost tea. So, if you're trying to spray a compost tea and you go through 24 hours of brewing, you got to wait for it to be active. Why wouldn't you just use 0.5 milliliters a gallon and foliar spray it as sea green?
It's not a bad idea, and that's the 7 years of testing that Joe has done on dozens of crops. And in layman terms, Tim, I appreciate it, but Joe, the best way to apply sea green, and then we're going to go through the other two, rudimentary and true blooms, the products that are available, and then the paleo bloom and the terp jerp, right?
It's Terp Gerp.
Terp Gerp?
Sorry, I didn't come up with the name. It's the one I didn't like. I wanted to call it something else.
All right. Who came up with it?
I was
Bob?
outvoted.
Bob back there came up with it?
People are 50-50 on the name, man.
Application, and listen, we know growers out there aren't going to give up their
I
favorite
don't
bottles,
care.
and you're
It's
not
a
asking them
product
to.
in a bottle. It's whatever.
But the application and the best way to use it, foliar drench, we know we can use it. Is it?
It depends on what's going wrong or what you're doing, and it depends on the situation. So really, sea green, all the different ways you apply it, they're just what's most convenient for you. That's what it's about.
And we talked about claims. What can you claim that it does?
What is it? It says it right here. This is the only thing allowed to say about fertilizer products. Here, it's on the side here. Officially, this is what the Department of Agriculture allows everyone to say to enhance plant growth and vigor.
Okay,
that's all you're allowed to say
that's
about
what it does.
That's all anyone can claim.
And
not been
approved by the FDA.
And more vigor in the plant, I would associate with health, and a healthier plant is going to be
right. But that's the thing is that legally, if you say health, you were making a pesticidal claim. Because
Well,
according to
you're,
the EPA,
I'm not making it on your behalf.
No.
I'm just saying in general, if plants are healthier.
That's why no one can say that.
I think
according
this guy doesn't like the Department of Ag too much.
No, this is according to
Nick
the EPA.
Young is listening right now.
I'm not the smartest guy
I don't
in the
think
world,
anyone does.
but,
I mean, no. So the EPA says that if a product is made to make the plant healthy, if its purpose is to make the plant healthy, then it is literally a pesticide, and that the only way you can have a healthy plant is if you
EPA
poison
registration.
it. That's the law. That's exactly what it says.
And you know what we're into?
Breaking the law, breaking the law, breaking the law, breaking the law.
As far as a foliar spray, though, like, would you recommend atomizing it versus just a regular pressurized pump sprayer?
I don't think it really
Whatever's
matters.
more convenient.
No.
Dude, pressure washer.
Well, no,
I think that's a great
doctor
idea.
does a
Pressure
new
water.
product.
Well,
I
a
would
lot of
try and do anything
bacteria
that would
and
be-
stuff
have
like that is
less
coverage
pressure.
is key, right?
Right. But the difference is the reason why sea green is actually better than compost tea. I'm just going to go out and plug my product and be totally self-interested at this point.
I may start using
it. The reason why it's great is because when you grow fungus, like say you've spent 3 days growing the perfect fungal tea, and then you go and you spray it through any sort of sprayer, you just killed your fungus, buddy. I don't know if you know this, but fungus doesn't like to be shot out of a tiny little nozzle. And so that's not what makes it work. Sea green, everything is dormant. All the spores, at least initially, are not active. They're either encysted or they're in a spore form where they won't be harmed by being shot through a sprayer. And I don't know any other product that is actually that way. That's the reason why it can be kept in a bottle, is because they aren't in an active state.
So
that's awesome.
So if you mix it and then you foliar spray
They'll
it,
actually survive.
because
You're
I'm
actually getting the
assuming
benefit of it.
once they get wet, there's a certain amount of time it takes
Right.
for the
So you wanna
the
mix it and spray it
encapsulation to
immediately.
be removed, so the spore is active, can be
The
activated.
thing that makes sea green great about compost tea is that if you don't really know what you're doing, and you don't really know how to grow tea or how to cultivate microorganisms or how to select agars and nutrient balances to cultivate the organism that you actually want to grow, then you have no idea what you're producing in compost tea. So the good thing about sea
Or
green
what
is
levels
it's
of
aggressive enough to take over just about anything that you might have happened to accidentally grow, and
Like
make sure
E.
that it's
coli?
not going to be a problem.
Like E.
right?
coli?
That's what it's for.
Or E.
It's-
coli?
Right. It's a diverse group of species, so there isn't enough of any specific organism to be pathogenic, and that's the difference. So most people go, okay, I'm going to get this one isolate, but that's not the way that nature works at all. Like composts, like good old compost, anyone will tell you this is the best thing to grow out of. If you can find really old compost, you're just about guaranteed success.
Do you think in testing that is now for the regulation of cannabis, but also other food
They
production?
have no idea what they're doing. The testing, they aren't even looking for pathogens. The testing, the method that they're using to determine spore count, has nothing to do with looking for pathogens.
And
it
that's
is
why-
literally completely arbitrary. It means nothing whatsoever.
It doesn't discriminate from good to
all
bad.
they're checking is aerobic organisms. Well,
Not
what about anaerobic organisms that can live in your lungs? If say you have a fluid layer or you have like a pseudomonid that generates extracellular
English.
They basically creates a bunch of slime in your lungs, and then this one that's anaerobic gets under there. That's a known pathogen. They work together and they just eat you and kill you.
And then it comes out on the microphone when
The
we
thing
talk.
is, it has nothing to do with anything. Man.
Well, and then you pass the joint.
I just
and
like
next
to
thing
be
you know, you're
relevant.
That's
spreading
why he
that
doesn't
shit
smoke it.
everywhere.
Look, he
That's
left
right.
that burn right there.
Yeah.
I smoke. I like oils, man.
So-
I like
so-
live resin personally.
That is a good point as well. I'll
Because
smoke
it's
some
live,
resin.
and
We
it's
do
like,
all the hard
it's-
work.
Well, no,
But-
it's just like you aren't pulling in a bunch of. Why would you want to suck a bunch of carbon into your lungs? I mean, that live resin is just it's just oil. It's just pure. It just goes in.
I'll
draw
answer
it
that
in, you don't
question.
have
Same reason why I smoke
anything burn.
cigarettes.
Well, I know,
because
but I do
the
that
last
separate
however
from
many
something
years
else.
of your life are pretty shitty. So yeah, I'm just
It's a great healthcare plan. I agree.
Yeah. It's like do I really want to be 90?
FBT
shitting
show
in
does
my
not have
pants,
a good
like,
healthcare
Good thing I didn't
program.
smoke. I'd rather die
We're a
at like
Canadian
60
company, so
'cause I
everyone here
smoked.
has.
Dude, all my sauces in one jar. Ling Ling said, "Fuck you."
Listen,
sorry. Man.
This is. It's funny because we're talking about all this, but in my notes here, I don't hear you use the word a lot. Organic, organic registration, organic things like that. These are things that we stay away from, and there's a note here that the organic standard is created to perpetuate that nitrogen is a sterilizer and not a fertilizer.
Fertilizer, not a sterilizer. No, that's the thing. Is literally all the university testing shows that when you put nitrogen into the ground, it decreases the fertility of the soil year after year after year. Everyone knows this.
It murks the soil.
It destroys the ground
Right,
completely.
They still do it.
And that's the thing is that you have to realize before the Haber-Bosch process, which was designed to take atmospheric nitrogen and turn it into a water-soluble form that plants could absorb. Plants grew like 5 times as big as they do now at one point, and there were no chemical fertilizer companies, and they grew all over the planet. So the thing is, there is a natural mechanism by which fertility is maintained in the soil, and you can look it up online if you want to look up nitrogenase.
Well, is that not also a result of our monocropping compared to having?
No, it has nothing to do with monocropping.
Yeah, they came up with the crop rotation to try to help you avoid
no.
buildup,
Nitrogen, as soon as you put it into the ground, it shuts down this process, this enzyme called nitrogenase, and nitrogenase can basically get atmosphere or nitrogen for free from the atmosphere. Okay, and as soon as you put nitrogen down in a high enough state, in what you would call a standard feeding program, it will literally shut that function down and all of the bacteria in the soil. It's a direct response. So putting nitrogen in is what causes you to need nitrogen in the first place. Otherwise, the ground, a healthy soil, is designed to grow it from nothing. So all you really need to do if you have good ground is to maintain the mineral content and the mineral balance. I was trying to talk about Redfield's work, the guy that got that
for the
Nobel Prize. Yeah, that's what he found. So that's what he was talking about. He's like, listen, there's only really one. Everybody supposedly has their own idea of what the perfect balance of fertilizer is, but this guy actually figured it out and he proved it.
Nice. Well, for the most part, most of us are just trying to grow the dank.
Right.
And Andrew over here looks like he smoked all the dank that you guys had with you before he showed up in the studio.
He's like, I don't need no fucking nitrogen, bro.
Dude, I have that same beanie as a gas mask for work.
I have this theory, and it's that he was talking about flushing earlier, and my theory is that there's a difference between weed that gets you high and weed that gets you fucked up or stoned, right? So if you're stoned, you're all messed up in the head. Weed is medicine. When you have weed that's grown right, it makes you better. It doesn't make you stupid. It makes you function better. That's my opinion.
Maybe being stupid is being better, so you could tune this shit out around.
Yeah, right.
Well, I know.
I'm
It's
just
like
pass
I'm
out
okay
and not
with
think
it.
about all my problems.
Well, I know. It's like, but that's the thing is like if you have really good weed, you don't think about your problems. You think about solutions. You know, your brain works better. You can deal with shit. It makes it easier. It makes it possible to live. That's why people smoke it.
Yep.
You know,
deal
with your shit.
I concur on all of those things. You want to follow this guy, Joe? Joe, do you got a IG or something, or are you one of the dudes that are just living in a cave or
I have
a cabin
Instagram,
somewhere?
but it's just like a bunch of weird science experiments.
Well, you can go follow
And me talking
Primordial
shit,
Solutions on Instagram. Man, I can't wait to talk more with you. You guys are going to be here all night, I guess, and we're going to be taking grow questions.
yeah.
In fact, I have a grow question for you guys right now. Nicole called in. She wants to talk to you guys. Nicole, you're on the air with Primordial. Hello.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
Go ahead, sweetheart.
Andrew, I haven't heard you talk much.
Do you have us on speakerphone?
Yeah, can you take us off speakerphone so the guys can hear you?
Sorry, the screener's supposed to tell you that
I like that one.
that you
gotta
shouldn't be on
catch up, man.
speakerphone.
Yeah. How's it going?
Good job, screener. Um,
He lost all of his
Andrew,
fingers in a fireworks
I'm on
accident.
Speaker. Can you hear me okay now?
Yes.
What?
Okay, awesome.
What?
Andrew, I haven't heard
just
you
as high
talk
as I
much.
am.
Tell me what your favorite product is and why.
Most definitely the sea green, and
She's auditioning
maybe
for
for
my
a different
job.
reason because, everybody comes to me and they tell me how much they love it, and how good it's working for their plants, and how their plants are green and they're staying green and they don't see any deficiencies.
Nice.
And,
what
basically,
about that Turp Grip, that foliar spray? What about that shit?
I haven't gotten to use it yet, but
What?
my leaves are about
Is
to
it-
flower pretty soon,
Is
so we're
it
going
Terp
to
Perp because it perpetuates the
It's
terps?
Terp
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 Terp Gurp.
Joe,
See, now
can you
guys
tell
are
her a
gonna
little
be
bit
arguing
about
whether it
Terp
should be
Gurp?
Gurp or Perp.
Terp jerk.
That product's all about how you apply it.
It's Terp Grip. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, no, it's the first fertilizer in a can. That's all it is. I mean, it helps with flowering because it has stuff in it that does that, which is pretty much all I'm allowed to say. Yeah, it helps to grow your flowers.
Well, and
It's a
to say this,
microbial.
what
You
I
can't
found,
make
what I would say
claims.
is
You
it's
can't
very
make
nice.
claims.
I like to use it I personally use it on plants that are in flower because it seems to help the plant to smell better, and that's it. And instead of growing bigger, the plant seems to make more flowers and more fruit, and it seems to put its energy into the fruit. So,
Hey, Joe.
yeah.
I got one more question for both you and Andrew, okay?
With that gun in your hand.
Yeah. Who's your favorite person to work with in the office?
The
Probably
employee
right now, just Carly.
The employee formerly known as Nicole.
Shout outs to Carly.
Yep.
Shout outs to
That'd be
Josh,
Carly,
our
'cause
mixer.
She's one badass bitch, right?
That's what I heard.
Hey, Nicole, you should use the Terp Gurp because it makes your roses not smell like doo-doo.
Yeah, don't forget to use the Terp Jerpy.
Hey, disclaimer,
You guys are
it
killing
stinks.
I love it.
Don't
I
spray it
love
in your house.
guys.
Listen, Harley, we'll talk to you later. Thank you. All right. 5, 6,
So
2, 6, 5,
all
3,
these people just
7,
plugged you in.
7.
Damn, his voice has really changed since he took that lab coat off. That's California gold.
Oh, my God.
You mean to tell me the Terp Gurp will make my roses no longer smell like doo-doo?
Tim, I'm going to put you back on hold. You're coming back after the break. Guys, we got to pay these bills. We're going to be here all night talking grow. Speedy, Mike, Brandon, Pro, you're all coming up after the break. We're going to find out more about the Paleo Bloom and the Terp Jerp.
We got Speedy on the line?
Yeah, Speedy Gonzalez.
Katrina's dad?
I think so. How many Speedies you know?
That's the only one. I don't really even know him because his name is Speedy, so I got scared.
Happy T's Grow Show. on
DFZ Radio.
Jerome.
What these niggas want from me? Haters wanna eat now, you never get lunch from me. Get off my tailcoat, get off addiction, team full of mean niggas, team green like it's Listerine. Don't cross the squad, man, we get them off, man. We on the front court shooting, you just a ball fan. I'm on the top back, y'all do it all bad. Grind on the regular, tell competitors all bad. Test the team, homie, watch you fall flat. Don't want the fame, but the change, I need all that. Hustlers get your guap up, rappers get your props up. Cause sky is the limit and we got heaven on lockup. Back down to earth, street swerving down Atlantic. Long Beach riding to death, we straight smashing. This is for my family, this is for the masses. This ADX anthem in case anyone asks me. Oh, I'm taking this shit head on. In the streets till 6 in the morning. Niggas don't want no ruckus. Tell me who won it with these shots up, boys. We say hustling. Catch me in the booth to the night. Streets holding tight. Grind for my life, for my life. Niggas don't want no ruckus. Bring the bullshit and we'll be dumping. Boy, we say hustling.
Hey, I rep my team, rep my city, and rep my scene. D, I'm down for mine, on the grind all the time, like overtime. X, I ride to the death, can't do it like this, so don't try to step. Can't move it like this, so don't try to test. Got shotters on the side of me, right in my left, cause we do it so swift, we do it so sick, and we ain't gonna stop. We got money to get, we got honeys to flip, got the streets on lockdown, so why would we stop now? We holding the spot down. Sour diesel Hennessy, a bad bitch next to me, ADX human going down up in history. Do it to the death of me, so ain't nothing left of me. Dumping off the weaponry, hold it down for centuries.
Oh, taking this shit head on. In the streets till 6 in the morning. Niggas don't want no ruckus. Tell me who won it with these shots up, boys. We say hustling. Catch me in the booth to the night. Streets holding tight. Grind for my life, for my life. Niggas don't want no ruckus. Bring the bullshit and we'll be dumping. Boy, we say hustling. Bonafide hustler, stay up in the street, grinding all day and all night so we can eat. Roll up on your homies like niggas, stick 'em up. Now bags in the stash in the back of the truck. Pounds of the diesel, throw it in the air. Tipping Hennessy for my niggas who ain't here. Back on my feet after shedding a few tears. Give me 2 years, stacked up with a few mil. Niggas locked up, but the homies still here. Rapping ADX fresh in the full gear. Killing the recession, pumping on the chop. Teddy Brock shot, killing blue clocks. Haters got no idea you ain't ready. It'll be a sad song if you niggas test me. Them niggas tryna send 100 cops to come get me. Gibbo sprayed a couple shots and told them bitches come catch me. Oh, taking this shit head on. In the streets till 6 in the morning. Niggas don't want want no ruckus. Tell me who won it with these shots up, boys. We stay hustling. Catch me in the booth till the night. Streets holding tight. I grind for my life. I'm a light. Niggas don't want no ruckus. Bring the bullshit and we'll be dumping. Boy, we stay hustling.
Hey, yo, this is Spanky Hayes, motherfucking Spanky Hayes, funny motherfucking Spanky Hayes. Shout out to DFZRadio.com.
Launch crew, ready to reservoir.
What's the load factor, sir?
Bringing the Riser Blast liquid at 2 mils per gallon.
Okay, sir. We are loaded and ready to launch.
10, 9.
Okay, men. It's time to blast off into the plant's root zone and into another galaxy of root growth.
Rhizoblast is a proprietary blend of seaweed and the single-celled algae chlorella. Chlorella's abundance of amino acids and minerals contribute to its value in hydroponics. The benefits used in Rhizoblast are explosive root growth, the use with any growing medium or hydro system, its ideal use for transplanting, and the enhancement of your plant vigor in fast-flowering plants. Let your plants have a blast and see a world of a difference with Rhizoblast from Botanicare. Check it out at www.botanicare.com.
Happy birthday.
Hey, Dr. Duff, are you signing up for another one of those internet dating sites after your divorce?
Nah, I'm just ordering these freaking douchebags from China here. Just gonna be saving a lot of money on it. About $1 a bag.
Did you say douchebags?
Yeah, they're pots. They're fabric pots. They're, made in China. They save $1 a bag from all the other.
Oh, it sounds like an imitation smart pot or something.
Yeah, save $1, but, I'm pretty sure these douchebags are gonna work.
Dude, I had a buddy of mine who used those same douchebags. He bought them direct from China. It killed his whole garden.
Bro, what? So, I'm better off spending that extra $1 on a smart pot?
I'd get a smart pot.
Don't be a Duff man. Make sure to buy the original patented Smart Pot. Check them out at smartpots.com.
Every Wednesday night from 6 to 10 Pacific Standard Time, who's hooking you up with the dopest grow knowledge and the freshest grow gear?
Heavy T's Grow Show. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. I love it.
Hey,
every day.
Thank you for
Every
the
Wednesday.
thank you for the birthday.
Sorry, Hardy. Game over.
You're gonna go get the green pad, see? That's what you're gonna do. You're gonna go get it right now. Go on down to your local hydro shop. Tell them Shunny sent you. That's right, Shunny with the green pad. More CO2 in your garden. More carbon, more weight, see? You need to get that weight up to pay me back, see, Shunny? Go get the green pad junior. Put it in your cloning dome, see? You're gonna get some more roots faster. Cut days off your cloning time. More harvest year round. That's right, see? Activated by humidity. 35 to 50%, so make sure that's right, okay? Go to your local hydro shop, see?
That's right. Go there now. More root, more fruit, more fruit, more root.
That's right. Yeah.
Meow. Right, meow.
Hey man, your garden smells amazing this year. What are you doing different?
Haven't you heard? We've been using the Turpinator.
Did you say Turpinator like terpenes?
Yes, exactly. Turpinator is designed to increase your plant's terpenes, which are responsible for everything from how your plants smell to how much flavorful oils they produce. Basically, Turpinator is the one-stop shop for an overall quality increase for your fruits and flowers.
That's awesome. I can tell the Turpinator has not only increased the oils in all your herbs and flowers, but it looks like it's going to increase your dry weight as well. And dude, don't even get me started on those crystals. They look like mini icebergs.
Well, you better hurry up and get on board. It's flowering season right now. And since Turpinator is made right here in Sonoma County, you can literally find it in any hydro store in town. Boost your plant's oils and bring out flavors that will drive your friends wild. Turpinator. Sticky is an understatement.
Hey, I'm in the zone. Dude, this shit is
DFZRadio.com.
From Manila to Mendo, Santiago to San Diego, the war rages on. Everywhere gardeners struggle against the chains of tyranny, growers fight for their inalienable right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of higher yields. Voices around the world are raised in a chorus exclaiming, No more. No more weak potting soils. No more trying to grow plants in a soil that doesn't have enough nutrients to sustain life. The people are rising up and demanding Sanctuary Soils Victory Brand Superior Garden Mix. Victory Garden Mix, a blend of the best composted forest humus, peat moss, and perlite. Victory Garden Mix, teeming with worm castings, humic shale ore, fish, shrimp, crab, and kelp meal. Victory Garden Mix, rich with dolomite and gypsum lime, glacial rock dust, oyster shell, and azomite. The people cry out in unison proclaiming, we demand the freedom to grow the best plants possible in the best soil available. Sanctuary Soil is answering your call, freeing you from the shackles of inferior soils. Sanctuary Soil's Victory Brand Superior Garden Mix, the best, highest quality planting mix available anywhere, is now available to you by the bag or by the truckload. For more information, contact your local hydroponics store or go online to sanctuarysoil.com. Sanctuary Soil's Victory Brand Superior Garden Mix, because together we can grow it.
Hey, what's up? Shout out to my man, DJ Saint, my brother.
Okay, got your ballast, check. Reflectors, check. Fans, check. Just about ready to get growing. The last thing you need is your bulbs.
Let me get like 12 of, whatever's the cheapest you got.
Bro, really? You're using the best soils, best best equipment, and you're going to use an Econo brand lamp? If you really want the best of the best, you need to go with the Ushio Hilux Grow Lamp. Ushio Hilux Grow Lamps have the highest quality and consistency in their construction, and they're engineered to give your plants the light spectrum they need for the best growth and biggest harvest. Plus, Ushio is the only company that offers 2100 micromole light output without needing to overdrive your lamps and ballast. That means more light for your plants and longer light for your lamps.
Wow, I had no idea. Okay, sold. Give me the Ushio Hilux Grow Lamps.
Professional growers know not every lamp will give plants what they need to optimize their growth and yields and maximize profits. That's why the pros choose Ushio Hilux Grow Lamps. Offered in a full range of high-pressure sodium, metal halide, and ceramic metal halide options, Ushio Hilux Grow Lamps ensure that your plants are covered from seed to harvest no matter what lighting system you're using. For over 50 years, Ushio has been a trusted name and a leader in specialty lighting, and they stand by their name with a no-questions-asked 1-year warranty. So whether you run 5 lights or 500, you can be confident that you're buying the best horticulture lamps on the market. Ask for Ushio Hilux Grow Lamps and make sure to check them out online at www.ushio.com.
You are listening to Heavy T's Grow Show on DFZ Radio Network.
Say, you're big time, huh?
What is? Hey, are you a soil grower and tired of using salt and synthetic-based fertilizers and not getting the results that you wanted? Well, for hydroponics, those products work great. But in soil, they suck. All those feeding schedules are out of range for what we think is good for soil growers. Mission Fertilizer is a new product on the market that's specific to soil gardening. They have a Grow, Bloom, and Boost. It's a super premium organic 1-part grow, 1-part bloom, and 1-part boost. It's a feeding program that can be used in bag soils like Ocean Forest and Happy Frog, Victory Mix, or Empire Builder, even Roots Organic, Royal Gold, and so forth. It can be used in any soil mix. Super simple to use, 1-part grow, 1-part bloom, and 1-part boost to get the most out of your garden. It's organic listed, pH stable, and safe to use with tap water. No need to ppm or EC or pH your tap water if you're mixing in Mission Fertilizer liquid. Go to missionfertilizer.com, grow the best, and see the proof is in the plants.
Say, you're big time, huh?
Yeah, kinda.
Riding down the west coast, candy paint dripping cause I just got a fresh coat. California raised me, an LA baby, the Chevrolet raisin, scraping on Dayton's, riding down Rosecrans, get with the program, call me the drone man, the hydros potens. Got your eyes low, lower than the ocean, just west coasting through the coast with the potion and the best dro to smoke. The baddest bitches. Girls in bikinis with ass and titties. The hustle game easy. You just can't believe till you see me on TV. Drive down the wrong street, might see the tech smoke. Hop in the ride and let's go to the West Coast. This life is like a movie. You meet a model bitch, then you fuck her like a groovy. California, 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 yeah, the county of LA. California, California, Compton, California, yeah, the city where I was raised. Second son to Eazy-E, so don't be amazed. Same nigga, same flow, same mind frame. I'm all about the Lucci. Fuck minimum wage, cruising through these Cali streets, smoking on this OG. Cash rules everything around me, I need more cream. West Coast, get it in. What the fuck you think? Saying I'm riding with you, really though, this money in the bank. E3 hotter than the California forecast. Burning up these tracks, nigga, I need more cash. Yeah, I'm a bona fide hustler. Fuck with my family of cash and I'ma cut ya. Real G's get it, that's only the obvious. Go against us, you know you facing the consequence. I love my state, but I really hate the politics. Better keep stepping, buddy boy, in a pile of shit. Yeah, in a pile of shit. E3, get it in, nigga, I'm live as shit. 3, 2, 1.
Bring me up. California. Not as hot as Florida. Welcome back, Heavy T's Grow Show. We're here with Bob. Bob.
Hello.
Hey, Bob. How you doing? You tried to get on
Doing well.
earlier, and we kicked you off, but now you're here.
It's all right. Thanks.
And who exactly are you, Bob?
Well, it's an interesting question. Came here from, I work with,
who am I
that's a
not?
long story. Well,
Sorry.
I work
He's
with
like
Joseph a little bit.
The gray aliens dropped me off 1,300 years ago. Yeah, I was charcoal bobbing around Aborigine, which is originally Australia.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been there. Well, I met Joseph through searching for...
You can put your headset on under there, unknown grower.
He's like,
the guy that was here earlier.
He's like, I met Joseph, Jesus' father,
You know, the
through
guy that
the three
was,
wise men.
Not that guy, but some guy that was here earlier, Joseph. But I met him through, I was making, I started out to make biofuels. And so we made hydrogen and other fuels from waste biomass, whatever, and we captured the carbon to put back in the soil. Nowadays they call this stuff biochar. So we realized that there's, by itself, you really need to get some kind of biological activity going with it. And so I've searched long and hard for the best biologist with the best stuff.
And
that's how I met Joseph.
And Joe actually had a run. And in his place, we have the unknown grower, not Joe.
That's right.
Yeah,
over
no,
there.
The guy that was here earlier.
Hi, unknown grower.
Hey, unknown grower, I think you can put your headset on underneath.
Okay, yeah.
And then, instead of over, get over there. But now the unknown grower can have he's unfiltered on what he can tell the callers and give them advice with, right?
All right.
Because it's not in any capacity as a CEO of a company, ever. Let's go to Speedy first. He has a lighting question. Speedy, what's growing on? Hey, Speedy.
He's speeding down the street.
Speedy, slow to the phone.
Hey.
Is Speedy the turtle, man? Someone put him on his back on a post. Speedy.
Oh, we can't beg you too often.
Put him on hold. Find him.
Aaron has a question about primitive for mold, but I think that the screener might have misspelled it with his nub. Aaron, what's growing on?
Preventative.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's your
I have
question?
a question about how about preventative mold protection? I'm running a little bit high on the humidity, getting worried, week 4 starting. Anything to spray that you would recommend to prevent mold?
Unknown grower?
Well, I guess what I would do is I would probably look for some frass, insect frass. See, when insect frass is made out of chitin, and when it decomposes, it creates this compound called chitosan. And when chitosan comes in contact with plant tissues, certain plant tissues or plants which produce chitinases, which those plants will begin to produce chitinases. And the chitinases dissolve the cell walls of fungi and insects. So that's one of my most utilized preventative techniques. And I don't own. Yeah, it's a good product.
Well, how high is your humidity?
Mechanism. And the other thing is copper.
Get up to like 70,
micronutrients.
off and on.
No, you're having a problem with it.
Are you in a sealed room, or are you using a fresh air exchange?
No, I'm using fresh air exchange, and of course I'm down in San Diego, so we've been running big humidity. So I have my tent open, it's airing out. I mean, it gets down, but it has reached up to 70.
Can't you put a dehumidifier in the room that you have your tents in?
No, it's not sealed, unfortunately.
Well, climate control is a key part of your IPM too. So a dehumidifier, airflow, all of those things are important. I know, Grower, you were mentioning copper in a spray, or because we were talking about biologicals. If I use copper as a drench in someone,
I see, that's the thing is that okay. So in the organic program, you can only use a certain amount of copper per acre, as far as an input goes. So all the plants generally, when plants are what I would call healthy, they have mechanisms to defend themselves against both insects and fungus, and those are built in. And so if the plant is in the correct environment, has the correct nutritional support, and that nutritional support varies depending on the sorts of difficulties or challenges the plant might come in contact with. So, but with resistance to fungus specifically, I found copper and micronutrient profiles, making sure the plant has enough of those and has them in the right balances. They tend to be healthy enough to overcome any sort of infection and prevent it. I mean, there's cannabis that grows in places where it's humid all the time. That comes from those areas, so there has to be a mechanism by which they can survive in that environment, because they've grown all over the world. So it's just in different environments, they have different requirements.
Are you running your lights during the daytime or the nighttime?
Nighttime.
You're running them at night, and then you have them off during the day?
Yes, sir.
And so you're looking at your hygrometer thermometer that you have, the digital one with the max and the min, and you're seeing like a high of 70, or is it like when the lights are on, you notice that it's at 70?
Well, I check it when the lights come on, and it's at 70. So
but what is it while the lights are on?
It gets, I mean, I don't know. The highest still with the lights on was probably 67, so it's still up high.
Okay, because the point I was getting at is that when the lights go out and the temperature drops in the room,
yes, sir.
The ability of the atmosphere to hold moisture decreases, so the humidity level will go up. So what you'll see a lot of times on those max and minimum thermometers is you may see where you have like the humidity goes to 88%, but it may have only done that for like 30 minutes to an hour after the lights first went off, and then it may have corrected itself back to a more normal atmospheric humidity level, which in San Diego should be a little lower. But remember, right now, we're getting the effects of that tropical storm, so our humidity has been high over the last few days, which is why we always recommend sealed rooms, because you're not at the mercy of Mother Nature. If you had a humidity spike late in flower, it could cause mold issues. I would just try to keep an eye on it, maybe lower your nitrogen levels that you're probably using a little bit, like powdery mildew on plants that are really nitrogen almost toxicity'd out. The tissue becomes a little softer, and it's easier for the powdery mildew to pierce the plant and grow. And make sure you have proper airflow in those tents. You got the leaves moving pretty good even when the lights are off.
Oh yeah,
and just wing
it. And absolutely, how Unknown Grower was saying, picking plants that have traits that are resistant to powdery mildew. If you're having a problem with it, we've seen
your
it
environment, right?
If you're growing 4 or 5 different strains in there, the 2 strains right next to each other may be attacked by pests, it may be attacked by a pathogen, and the one right next to it won't even show any signs.
We used to just like. When I used to grow up in Humboldt, I mean, what we used to do is just grow a lot of train wreck during the winter, because that was the only stuff that really survived the humidity. Anything else we tried to grow.
That's ironic. We used to sell a lot of train wreck during the spring.
Nice.
But absolutely, and which genetics are going to be applicable? Because listen, hybrids have been bred for most traits of either their potency or their yield. And when you're looking at such a narrow eye on how to breed, just on a couple attributes, you're going to breed out certain attributes of the plant. So some may have lost all of their resistance to powdery mildew. They may have lost their natural resistance, and through breeding. I wanted to ask unknown grower about that with their experience in the garden. The best way to select the genetics, and what are some of your favorite genetics that, like Trainwreck, like you said, that are mold resistant?
Well, the thing about genetics now is that it's really hard to tell what anything is unless you've grown it, because you really don't know what somebody's handing you.
Right.
So
like, this is the OJ
they're like, hey, look, this is a
Simpson
seed.
Kush.
And that's the thing, is that cannabis is a lot like an apple seed. Like the apple tree, the reason why we used to make apple cider out of it was because most apples taste like crap. That's just the truth. Okay. The plant produces so many different types of its own variants of itself, and only a few of them actually taste sweet. So we used to make liquor out of them. That's all you could do with them because they tasted so awful. You try to eat them, and, you're not going to put that in a pumpkin pie because no one would eat it. And with cannabis, with cannabis as well. That's the problem. Is like if you have seeds, you're going to see a huge variance. You're going to see a variance of different expressions, and each one of those plants that you get, every seed that you crack is different, slightly different, and so what I'd say with selecting genetics, don't believe what it says or the traits that they say, unless you've grown it. You really don't know what it is. That's the truth.
You've been in this for a long time, and looking back out of it, how many of like these breeders and genetic companies are just seed chuckers compared to really doing breeding? Or I'm sorry, pollen chuckers.
Pollen chuckers. Pollen chuckers. Well, see,
I trademarked that, by the way.
Pollen chuckers. He trademarked for what?
Oh, T-shirts. We're making them.
Yeah.
Pollen checkers.
More trees, less pollen checkers.
The company that I can tell you the company I've worked with directly, with the Humboldt Seeds and Alien Genetics are the two companies I've talked to the people that were involved with that I had confidence in. And I'm not saying, I'm sure there's a lot of other people out there, and the truth is I haven't met that many genetic producers. I've met a few.
But you alluded that you don't really know what you're going to
No,
get, and that goes from people giving you clones to seeds or whatever it is.
Let me qualify that though. I've met a lot of people that threw seeds at me. Right, I've only met a few people that were selling seeds that I sat down with and talked with about their methods and really could see that they knew what they were doing and had some integrity with it.
I think what is going on here, Aaron, is the green thumb is a myth. Dirty hands are a reality. The best tool you have as a grower is your experience. And like Unknown Grower said, you're not going to know what you have until you grew it. And it doesn't matter the dude that bred it, the dude that gave it to you, whatever, tells you what it is. Can be a variance that is huge. So get in there, grow more, put more lights up. Come to Long Beach Hydro. Check it out.
Okay, well, cool. Thanks a lot, guys.
All right, check it out. I'm going to send you a swag pack from Vermicrop and HB 101 with some smart pots as well, okay?
Damn, player.
Awesome, dog.
Thanks, Aaron. Going down the line, let's talk to Speedy. He's back. Speedy, what's going on?
Hey, what's going down, brother?
Oh, what up, Speedy?
Are you in California?
No, I should be there on the 23rd.
Make sure you hit us
hear
up.
Me right now. God damn, Horty needs to slow down.
I know, we're feeling it. We're less speedy than you.
Bro, drive fast, take chances.
Bro, hearing all this conversations, bro, it is crazy.
Take notes.
So many fucking problems. You know what? I shouldn't be like this, but I remember I had all those fucking problems. Mold. Gee. Bro, I'm killing it this time.
All right, let's not have you suck your own dick too much here on the It's all good.
How's Katrina doing?
She's doing amazing, bro. You know what? Another thing,
give us an update.
I gotta give. I really believe now, bro, on that full spectrum oil, man, as a whole plant.
Because in the beginning, let's let everyone know, his daughter Katrina has had cancer like basically her whole life. They've used CBD and stuff in the past to try to help her with it, and then eventually Speedy and his wife became more comfortable with giving it to her, could see that it was helping her, and then you started to give her a little bit of the THC in the CBD, right?
Yeah.
And that's when you started to really notice more changes. So
we're more 100% on that full spectrum now. It's just totally. That's what helps her. Just let me say that. It might not help other kids, but that's what's helping her.
Well, and
it is full spectrum RSO.
Nice.
And I mean, talking good full spectrum, and this is hard. Not even my RSO is good enough for her. I actually get my RSO from California, from Peter Farms.
Allegedly.
Farms.
Allegedly, that's right.
Yeah, because not even my RSO, even if I try, she gets the runs or she gets fever. And I've tried different people's, for some reason, those guys out there know, whatever they're doing, however they're doing that format, whatever they're doing that extraction, it's what's working for her. She don't have no fever. She don't get no diarrhea. She eats. I mean, she takes 2 capsules a day. She's doing amazing. I mean, I think she's doing way better than since the first one, man. I mean, I can't.
Well, everything seems real positive. You guys are coming down to California, going to Disney again. Going to come through Numbskull Studios and chop it up with us?
You guys, every time that we tried to take her, she was always too sick.
Right.
And, and we try to do our best of it because you never know, tomorrow's never promised when you're fighting that disease. So, finally she says, well, Dad, I don't have a line no more in my nose. I don't have my port line. So she'll have no more wires hanging out. She can go swimming.
Just looks like a normal kid again. Doesn't have to feel like...
It feels weird. I don't even know what normal is no more, bro.
Right. No, I'm saying, but for her, at her age and everything, and other kids staring at her, and, it's probably uncomfortable. Now she's like, I can just look like everyone else, and I feel good.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I got you, player.
Yeah, without, carrying a bag with a damn machine, being hydrated, and then you got to be feeding through your tooth, through your nose. And
got to wipe down every fucking ride she's going to ride with alcohol wipes and stuff.
Oh, bro. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Well, when are you guys going to be here?
On the 23rd. We should be arriving in L.A. on the 23rd, hopefully.
All right.
Okay, make sure you catch up with us when you're here, man. Please.
We
will, but you need to grow better, and you're asking about a light.
No, but I do have questions. The reason I was calling was I really want to try those CMH 315s, but I'm kind of, I'm always been a high-pressure sort of guy, man. I'm using Phantoms right now. Mm-hmm. I'm running some Phantoms. I mean, I crushed it on this last run.
Well, listen.
My problem was always mold and climate control. Now that I got this spot with a garage, man.
Well, listen, indoors we're trying to replicate the sun, and no light can truly replicate the sun.
The story right now about mold and shit, it was crazy because I know what I went through hearing these guys go like, fuck. My opinion was, you got mold, throw that fucking plant away.
Well,
simple and start. I learned from my experience. I start everything from seed. I don't get no fucking clone for nobody. I don't fuck with nobody. I start everything from seed. So I know if I do, it's just my shit. I don't let nobody in my fucking shop no more.
Hey, Speedy, when you're down here, catch up with us, and I'll get a hold of our buddy Art at Sunlight and see if I can get you a couple 315s that you can maybe replace, one of your Phantoms with depending on, what size.
Well, this is what I want to do. Since I got one 315 that I got at Nanolux. I think it was a 315. So I got 3 trays. So I'm running 2 Phantoms on each tray. But I got an extra tray that I want to run 3 315s on top of one tray because a buddy of mine says that he replaced 2 lights from something like that. And I mean, he's saying that.
What size tray?
4x8.
Yeah, I would say probably 3 to 4 315s over that would be good.
I think he's running 3 630s, and I didn't get what. So I said, you know what, I'm going to ask him, because mine are 315, but he said all it is just 2 lights on one.
Right. Mm-hmm. So when you get down here, hit us up, and I'll try to get you a couple. We'll even contact Nanolux. We'll try to find someone to get you a couple extras, and you can hang them on that one tray, and then you can do a side-by-side compared to the Phantoms. That's what I want to
do, because it'll be the same environment.
I would say probably what you'll find eventually, though, is that the mixture of the HPS and the 315 to have a mixed spectrum in your garden would probably be even better.
You know what? That's what somebody told me. Somebody told me to put the 350 in between the two Phantoms.
Listen, Speedy, if you don't mind that this heavy tea here on my show. When we're putting up the lights, right, and how much we're trying to replicate the sun.
Okay.
So if you're looking for X amount of medicine and you're getting what you need off 2,000 watts, 2,000 watt phantoms, it's very unlikely that you're going to replace those with a 315, even two 315s, and get the same amount. The sun is so intense and a complete spectrum, and no artificial light that we have completely replicates that in any close matter at all. Right, so a spectrum to get a full spectrum, and the intensity along with that to get the quantity. If you reduce the wattage, you're going to reduce the quantity, even if you enhance the quality. Okay, and we're talking about quality. Quality is a byproduct of the genetics, the health of the plant, all those things, and the light. But if you increase the quality on a strain that's 20% by 5%, well, you're at 21% now, but now you have half as much a flower at 21% that you would have at 20%, and it's still going to be full range because the plant is producing full range cannabinoids.
Yeah,
okay,
that's
but listen, Speedy, listen. When you go to a more full spectrum, lower wattage light, you're going to sacrifice your yield. Unless you
get
that's right. So that's when that's
proper U-moles worth of energy.
His buddy is using 3 630s, so that's damn close. That's
pretty close to.
That's 1,920 watts. Okay,
versus 2,000 watts of
about 2,300 watts. But it's a lot closer. You're not going to trade. It's unknown grower has something to say. He's over there biting his thumb.
He's biting his bag.
Hey, I'm just wondering how wattage equates to electron volts and
now, what if I run 240s? Don't matter.
If you run what?
Even if everything's running on 240.
240 is just okay at the amount of amps that you pull at 240 is half of what you pull at 120.
Okay.
So whether you run it at 120 or 240, the ballast takes the power that you're giving it. It transforms it into what it needs to power the bulb. Okay. So that's not going to have anything to do with it. But like I said, I think in the future you'll find that if you have like your phantoms spaced out properly with maybe CMHs in between them, then you may end up to where like a phantom covers like a 4x10 or so, like two of them. So like a phantom with a CMH in the middle and then another phantom may spread it out more. So you may be able to replace a couple of your 1,000 watts with 315s, like a checkerboard in the room, but you're going to have to do the calculations to figure that out. But that may be a possibility where you replace a couple phantoms.
My measurements out there to California.
Okay, yeah, and there's calculators, but we can maybe help you come up with where you have spacing, like a lot of people will do. Like they'll do their HPS and then a CMH or a plasma or whatever they do, and then another HPS and then another CMH or plasma, whatever and they'll checkerboard it like that. But it allows you to spread the lights out a little further, so you can maybe drop a couple of the thousands.
Somebody told me, why don't you just put the CMH in between? I think you get a better spectrum, and you won't lose what you gain, what you got right now. Because I killed it this last run.
Well, that's what we want to avoid is you not killing it. So let's get your measurements, and we'll calculate out like what your footprint should be for your lights, and figure out a way to put a couple 315s in between it. And come up with something and help you out.
We use. Fuck, man. I've been waiting for you to shut the fuck up so I can talk to you about real growing.
I've been waiting 7 fucking years.
Look, Horty, calm down.
Unknown grower fell asleep and he's trying to write notes to us.
So I personally use at our facility in certain rooms 4 LEC 315s per 4x8 table. The reason for this, at 240 volt per table, I'm using about 6 amps of electricity. We're limited at power, so for us it's about having more plant foliage in the room. So being able to run 6 amps per table versus 2,000 watt lamps at roughly 6 amps per lamp, we're able to increase the amount of canopy space, but the yield per 4x8 table versus 2,000 watt lamps is not equivalent. Look, Horty, when was the last time you fucking grew more than 2 fucking lights?
I know about I know about electrical theory, which obviously you don't, because watts are watts.
Shut them all off. Shut them all off. Actually, we have a true lighting expert here for you, Speedy. Dr. Duff has entered the building.
Power versus current.
It is, Saint.
Two different things.
Think I would.
Dr. Dove song, Saint.
Change my Phantoms.
It is, Saint.
Yeah.
It's Dove product, Saint.
How am I supposed to sell my stuff?
There you go.
I don't want to sacrifice my.
Can you hear me? I don't know.
Yes.
All right. You need some full spectrum. You need the Dr. Duff Bright. That's right. The Duff Bright has full spectrum, light bright little, knobs. They're bulbs. You put them in there. You can put whatever spectrum you want. It's the rainbow. You want rainbow? You got it. And it grows your Duff like no one's
Hey,
business.
man, you know why you were demoted from assistant coach on your son's soccer team to trainer? Because you suck. Get the hell off my microphone. You're the worst there ever was. Unknown grower, you're talking about electron volts and all these crazy stuff. Not necessarily crazy, science stuff. What does science have to do with growing?
Well, no. When it comes to light, like plants have chlorophyll. Effectively, what we're trying to do when we grow plants is just produce sugars, like THC.
Mm-hmm.
That is our end goal. That plain and simple. And you can have as wide of a spectrum as you want in your bulb, but the truth is that the plant has chlorophyll molecules that it gets energy from, and only the light that falls within certain ranges actually affect the plant at all, as far as it's helping it to produce more energy and create more CO2 and thus more sugars or THC or whatever it's producing. So literally the entire spectrum of light, there's only certain portions of it that are actually useful for the plant to grow with, but there are more that are useful than we were originally aware of. Originally, we thought there was like just two places where it would work, but the plants have like also chlorophyll pathways for electrons, but then they have like they will absorb red light as well. They have cyanins, which are generally photosystems that use like reddish light and lower energy light. And they're necessary because they help to move the protons instead of like what the chlorophyll does, which moves electrons. And that differential of those two flows is what causes a plant to have that electrical current that allows it to draw water up and do all its processes. But I think the big thing is that there's a huge difference between the amount of watts that you produce and the amount of usable energy you're actually shooting out of the light at the plant. And the same plant, and according because of the inverse square law, like the distance from the plant from the light actually has more to do with how much energy it's getting than the amount of watts that you're burning in electricity.
Right. So every foot you get away, you're about half what's coming off the source.
The inverse square law is like more like divided by itself. You basically take the square root of that number, and that's amount of. If you started say at 10,000 watts at 1 foot, you do the square. The distance would decrease in as if you were multiplying it in volumes.
Okay.
So it's
fucking mic on. I know the inverse goddamn square law.
Sorry,
It's okay.
But the
unknown grower's talking now.
So.
Keep going, unknown grower.
No, I'm just saying that the distance. I'm saying the distance in the light, the distance, and this is one thing I haven't heard people talk about is like what kind of energy do the plants actually need? What colors do they need? Originally, we did the LEDs, and we had supposedly the right spectrums, but they didn't work. You couldn't get the plant to flower under them. So I do think it's interesting. Like we need to do I think a better job determining where I think the lighting companies need to be more specific about what kind of frequencies they're generating and identify the part of the plant that's designed to pick that wave or that frequency.
Well, let's narrow it down to two choices, two options like Speedy was talking about, the 315 CMH or CMH in general and HID.
Could I see the specs on those? Because I'd love to look at both of them and give you my honest opinion. I just honestly don't know enough about the specific products to give you any sort of an educated
they're on this thing called Google.
Awesome. And I'll write them down. No, I haven't seen. No, that's the thing. I haven't seen lighting companies really publish that data very well. Yep. So I would like to see it.
Well, overall, and this is like I said, experience in the garden, just observation, straight observation. When using CMHs, you have tight clusters of buds, less stretching. Well, it could be due to less heat. It could be due to spectrum, usable light. But we can definitely see a visible increase in trichome production. And at the same point, it might not be the spectrum. It might be the actual intensity of light. If the light's too close, you have an oxidation. You have a degradation of your trichomes, of the overall quality of the color of the plant. There's a light saturation point that the plant can get to. So all of those factors, before you just go say, I'm going to go buy a 315 because my buddy said that it's the shit.
Yeah.
I would take those into, and if you just said he just said he had the best crop. Your mic's on.
I don't know if I'd change anything if you had the best crop ever.
Yeah, the best crop of his life.
Yeah.
Maybe add some sea green.
I just killed it. I just killed the last crop. Like, I just killed it. But my buddy did say what you're saying. He said that the trichomes were off the hook. He didn't get much with, but the trichomes, me as an extractor, that's what I'm going for. So maybe, it's kind of hard, but like I said, if I killed it, maybe I want to change what is working for me right now.
Well, maybe we can give them something to enhance that. We do have some of the Paleo Bloom and the Terp to give away from Primordial Solutions. I don't want to mispronounce it, but Unknown Grower, what do you think? Are you familiar with these products?
Yeah.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Something in Speedy's situation that he's trying to grow medicine, high quality, the best way that he can, and maybe one of those can help him enhance it. What would you suggest?
Well, Speedy, honestly, I like the entire program that Primordial Solutions puts out there. It limits the amount of products you have to buy, and if you're Speedy and need to save on time, that really helps, especially because the products were derived from agriculture, commercial agriculture. They're cost effective for even people growing tomatoes, not just green tomatoes. So it's a great line to look at. But for your flowering, you might want to try the Terp Group and the Paleo Bloom as well. The Terp Group will help the plant produce more oils and resins. That's it was used. Actually, a guy won a cup up last year. The guy that won the terpene pen extraction category of the Emerald Cup, he was using Terp Group. He was one of the first people that did beta testing on it.
And that's a foliar spray?
Yeah, it's literally it's a foliar in a can. That's all it is. It's a foliar in a can. You don't have to mix it. You don't have to check anything out. It lasts about you can spray it for about two and a half minutes, something like that, and you only need 3 or 4 seconds to treat a 4x4 area. So it makes it really easy. You don't have to measure anything out. You don't have to go get a blower or a mixer or anything like that. It all comes out of an aerosol can, and if you're environmentally considerate, it's nice that it has no VOCs. It's just compressed air that drives the entire mechanism. So, and at the end of it, you can just recycle the entire container. So it's a wonderful product.
Let's send it to Speedy.
And if you're good at graffiti, you could probably get 2 uses out of every can because you got mad can control.
Well, let's send it to Speedy, and he's going to be one of the first duff-free soldiers to try out. How do you say it again? Unknown Grower?
Terp Group, I think.
Terp
You could use all these products for any media, right?
Yeah, well, that's a foliar. You just spray on the outside of it.
No, even the sea green and all
foliar doesn't mean spray your roots.
Or,
I'm going to send that along with some of the HB 101 and another swag pack for you, Speedy. Bless you, Trina. Rosa, we love you guys. You stay healthy, stay safe. We're going to see you at the end of the month.
All right, we'll see you soon, guys.
All right, cool, Charlie. Smoke him if you got him.
Hey, that's a viable question. I mean, we're talking about soil all fucking night. What about people in hydroponic medium?
All right. Well, what about people in those hydroponic? What about people in hydroponic medium?
Yeah.
What about them? What's your question?
What about your guys' product? What do you guys suggest?
Well, there's no one here from Primordial Solutions, but the Unknown Grower may know.
Stuff like that. What do you think of Primordial Solutions for people in hydroponic?
I've used the sea green in hydroponics before, and it works great.
All right, use that testimony on the website.
There you go.
I've just been hearing soil all night. A lot of people out there hear soil, and they're like, "Well, I'm hydroponic."
I agree.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of fucking noobs out there.
All right, calm down before you get turned off again.
When I first met Joe in 2009 at the Urban Garden Show in L.A. or whatever, he gave me a bottle of.
Yeah, and so if Joe was here, but what a hydroponic use of the products here.
Union.
I know,
I hear it works. Here it works great. I saw some test results from the Paleo Bloom on some aquaponic tomatoes where they threw it in an aquaponic system where there was koi growing, and the results were ridiculous. It's because the Paleo Bloom is interesting because it can maintain the micronutrients and solubility around neutral pH, which is a problem for a lot of fish farms, because they have trouble keeping the pH low enough for the plants to pull up their micronutrients. And the paleo bloom apparently was able to act as a 1-part feed in that system, where there's a little bit of nitrogen added in, and it outsurpassed like just putting the salts in, or the control in the test, which had a bunch of salts, just compared, same nutrients, same elements, just put together differently. The plant took that up better.
Well, what about a recirculating rock wool system that we see on commercial hydro grow in our cannabis industry?
I've seen some people use it that way, but the paleo is probably better for like as a organic, for use in organics. At least at this point. In the future, it might be able to become more, more soluble, and you could possibly. The thing is that in that sort of system where you don't have enough root mass or biology, you can't use nature to fix your nitrogen, because there isn't enough biomass to have enough organisms that can actually do that process. So in hydro, you have that limitation where you have to put more nitrogen in, so it can't really be used as a 1-part in that sort of situation. Now, the thing with the fish, the aquaponics, the fish, they were feeding the fish, so the fish were producing nitrogen, and but the plants didn't have enough of the balanced minerals, which are in the paleo bloom. So it worked as a perfect balance again, so to where the nitrogen from the fish and that could work together. But in a straight hydro system, you'd have a hard time unless you added a nitrogen source as well.
So something like the turpgerp or sea green as a foliar would be a great way to bring it into a hydroponic system without actually putting it in the reservoir.
You still need a nitrogen source. I mean, that's the thing, and you could use like. You could use like liquid fish, that could be used.
Okay.
Or if you're staying organic, or if you really don't care, I mean, the cheapest thing to do is get urea. I know people don't like urea, but I don't know what the problem is. I mean, it's what all of us make. I don't know how that's not natural.
Yeah.
I don't get it. That's one of the things I've been bitching about with like the organics, is that the organics is just like, okay, you can use battery acid and Drano to make organic liquid fish, and organic humic acid, and you can use those products like what everyone understands to be chemicals. You can use those products to make organic products, and then you can't use those products and the same chemical processes to do other things. And so there's these arbitrary definitions of what's organics, and it's one thing that bothers me, because I think like chemicals, we need to have the organic carriers, the things that the plants use, like they're other I guess co-nutrients, you might think, or the humic acid, the fulvic acid, the organic compounds that are generated as organic matter decays really help the plant to actually recognize nutrients and take them up and use them in a good way. And that's what I think that the organic program has over a chemical program. But I don't think that it's really reasonable to consider, say, like urea, because it came out of the sky, and instead of out of an animal's butt, it's not organic, and it's like, but chemically it's the same thing, and I don't really agree with that. So I think the organic standards, I think, are really arbitrary and bullshit.
There's not continuity about what it stands for, right? That's what it seems like we're getting at. And the Primordial, they refine these formulas, allowing for a positive interaction with the microbes and the soil, the air. It helps regulate the hydrological cycle of the earth, of the plants, of the soil, or whatever is growing in that, and which is awesome.
Dude, how much urea and nitrogen you get from Miller Lite?
A lot if we captured it here. Listen, guys, Unknown Grower, I want to thank you for coming in, and we're probably going to see Joe again. We locked him out of the studio. Biochar Bob?
Yes.
Thank you for coming in as well.
Thanks for having me.
It's not a wrap yet, but we're going to pay these bills. Dr. Duff's World According to Duff, and more grow questions coming up after the break. Heavy T's Grow Show, DFZRadio.com.
Crank it on up, side diesel in my blood, purple drink in my cup. Someone tell the DJ, crank it on up. Yeah, crank it up, crank it on up, crank it up. Sour diesel up in my blood, purple drink up in my cup, crank it up, crank it on up. That's D, got me smoking the bass, no stress cheese. Now hold up, now roll up. Check the situation, about to go nuts. With a little bit of perk up in my cup, you could tell the bartender to fill it on up. That's that's alright, baby, work your stuff. And that's all night, baby, work your strut. You and your friends can ride when I go. Take a little spin in my Monte Carlo. Take a little dip, baby, show you how I roll. Take a little hit, baby, puff on the hydro. Eyes so lit, make me look like my eyes closed. Purple drink mix, make me look like my eyes glow. Hypno Grey Goose with a little grape juice. That's how it is, so I'ma have to take side diesel in my blood. Purple drink in my cups, I'ma tell the DJ, crank it on up. Side diesel in my blood, purple drink in my cup. Someone tell the DJ, crank it on up. Yeah, crank it up, crank it on up, crank it up. Sour diesel up in my blood, purple drink up in my cup, crank it up, crank it on up. It's the ADX team with no doubt in between, and we stay fresh and clean when we hop on the scene, and we style on them, profile on them. If they wanna act crazy, then we wild on them. It's the S to the T and that Cambo G, either Maserati blue or the Lambo green, and that Chevrolet mean when it drop on the street. Either hating on you or they hating on me, and it's shaved up, raised up, drop it to the flow, got them blades to stay tough. And the candy on the bike, same color as sour. Catch me on the site 100 miles per hour. This is my life, so this ain't ours. So I stay tight, so this is power. With the ADX team, you could call us some brave hearts. Sour diesel trees, you could call it the trademark. Side diesel in my blood, purple drink in my cups. I'ma tell the DJ, crank it on up. Side diesel in my blood, purple drink in my cup. Someone tell the DJ, crank it on up. Yeah, crank it up, crank it on up, crank it up. Sour diesel up in my blood, purple drink up in my cup. Crank it up, crank it on up. West Coast, crank it on up. East Coast, crank it on up. Midwest, crank it on up. Down south, crank it on up. Yeah, crank it up, crank it on up, crank it up. Sour diesel up in my blood, purple drink up in my cup, crank it up, crank it on up.
ST, DJ Dale, Big Bell, Killer P, Chino with the OE, it's the ADX team. 562 Mob.
You are listening to Heavy T's Grow Show on DFZ Radio Network.
So you're big time, huh?
Yeah, kinda.
Have you ever been interested in gardening with dry fertilizers? Well, you're not the only one, and let me tell you about Vermicrop Organics and their line of organic dry fertilizers. Healthy plants with a simple 4-step process. Step 1. Just measure out a half teaspoon per gallon of soil or 2 cups per 12 square feet of soil surface area. Step 2. Apply evenly to the soil surface. Step 3. Blend into the top layer of soil to avoid caking. Step 4. Water thoroughly. And that's it, simple as that. Great for vegetables, fruits, flowers, potted plants, trees, shrubs, annuals, and perennials. It's Vermicrop Organics VermiVeg 744. Along with the VermiBloom and PK Boost, you will have a complete line of organic nutrients and a garden that will thank you with a great harvest. Looking for an even simpler way? Then check out the Vermiall 666. This game-changing mix is formulated for all stages of growth in the fast-paced garden of champion vegetable and flower growers. And check out the Vermi Bat Guano Fertilizer and the Vermi Blood Meal Fertilizer for feeding oversized, nitrogen-hungry plants. Learn more at vermicrop.com. That's vermicrop.com.
Woo! 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 Ow! Love that money.
Heavy T Grow Show, baby.
Dr. Duffman here. Wanted to talk to you about what I wish I had in my garden. And that, my friends, is a Nanolux double-ended fixture, which is leading the industry as I speak in double-ended technology. I will no longer need 10 150-watt lights to cover my 5x5 area. With just one double-ended fixture from Nanolux, I can cover that area. Also, no more need for that pesky rooster timer of mine that goes off at all kinds of random hours. With Nanolex's fixture, it comes NCCS ready, meaning I can control it on my computer. So if you're like me and your lighting situation sucks, then upgrade to Nanolex's double-ended fixtures today, and don't be a duff man. For more information on Nanolux, check them out at nanoluxtech.com. That's NANOLUXTECH.com.
Hey, bro, your garden's looking sweet, man. What are you using?
Yeah, man, I'm using a premium cocoa nutrient, Cocoa Tech A and B, man. It's an aggressive formula for increased yield during the flowering phase.
Wow, so this is made specially for cocoa?
You better believe it, man. It comes with easy-to-use 2-part formula. Formulated of aggressive growth and superior blooms. Whoa, bro. Yeah, man. Tell 'em, Bob.
This aggressive formula contains proprietary blends of calcium to ensure your plants thrive. Backed by years of research, Cocoa Tech Premium Cocoa Nutrients are specifically designed to support and enhance your cocoa core growing experience. Use Cocoa Tech Premium Nutrients with Cocoa Tech Premium Cocoa Core for optimum results.
Yeah, man.
Too much stuff. That's too much stuff. Too much stuff. Man, cut that fool. That's too much stuff. He talking all over the callers. That's too much stuff. His wife hands all over my ballers. She has too much stuff. The same 3 jokes every show. That's too much stuff. A black guy his wife have to blow. That's too much stuff. Too much stuff. She got too much stuff. That's too much stuff. That's what he's pimping one-on-one. Too much stuff.
From Manila to Mendo, Santiago to San Diego, the war rages on. Everywhere gardeners struggle against the chains of tyranny, growers fight for their inalienable right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of higher yields. Voices around the world are raised in a chorus exclaiming, "No more! No more weak potting soils! No more trying to grow plants in a soil that doesn't have enough nutrients to sustain life." The people are rising up and demanding Sanctuary Soil's Victory Brand Superior Garden Mix. Victory Garden Mix, a blend of the best composted forest humus, peat moss, and perlite. Victory Garden Mix, teeming with worm castings, humic shale ore, fish, shrimp, crab, and kelp meal. Victory Garden Mix, rich with dolomite and gypsum lime, glacial rock dust, oyster shell, and azomite. The people cry out in unison proclaiming, "We demand the freedom to grow the best plants possible in the best soil available." Sanctuary Soil is answering your call, freeing you from the shackles of inferior soils. Sanctuary Soil's Victory Brand Superior Garden Mix, the best, highest quality planting mix available anywhere, is now available to you by the bag or by the truckload. For more information, contact your local hydroponics store or go online to sanctuarysoil.com. Sanctuary Soil's Victory Brand Superior Garden Mix, because together we can grow it.
Hey, I'm in the zone. Dude, this shit is
What is? Hey, are you a soil grower and tired of using salt and synthetic-based fertilizers and not getting the results that you wanted? Well, for hydroponics, those products work great. But in soil, they suck. All those feeding schedules are out of range for what we think is good for soil growers. Mission Fertilizer is a new product on the market that's specific to soil gardening. They have a grow, bloom, and boost. It's a super premium organic 1-part grow, 1-part bloom, and 1-part boost. It's a feeding program that can be used in bag soils like Ocean Forest and Happy Frog, Victory Mix, or Empire Builder, even Roots Organic, Royal Gold, and so forth. It can be used in any soil mix. Super simple to use, 1-part grow, 1-part bloom, and 1-part boost to get the most out of your garden. It's organic listed, pH stable, and safe to use with tap water. No need to ppm or EC or pH your tap water if you're mixing in Mission Fertilizer liquid. Go to missionfertilizer.com, grow the best, and see the proof is in the plants.
DFCRadio.com. Get your paper, 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 get your paper. I hustle hard, I hustle hard, I hustle hard, I hustle hard.
Yo, what up? Heavy T's Grow Show getting floss out with all that sea green swag over here. You get the big boy size, Andrew?
Yes, sir.
Is that triple XL?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
No, that's triple extra medium.
Yep. We're here doing our thing. 562-653-0707. We kicked. Oh, look at this hat pin. I got that one. We are going to now go to the world according to Duff. Brought to you by Nanolux. Nanolux Lighting. Their full range of lighting products, including their 315 ceramic metal halide, available at all fine hydro shops. And go check out nanoluxtech.com to see what's up. Here we go, Dr. Duffness.
Yeah.
What's your Duffness say?
I got some world news to start off with. Badung. Bandung.
Bandung.
Where a 21-year-old student was busted for the marijuana growing in his freaking closet.
Bastard.
They said he had a hot house, a marijuana hot house.
Where was it? Bangladesh?
And Bandung.
Bangladesh's mom?
Bandung.
How many plants does he have?
He had only a closet full, Saint, so I'm assuming it's about 100. So he went big and he got busted. And now the police are busting his ass and he's in jail in Badung. And his name is YCR. And you know what? He's busted. He's going to jail for probably life. They're going to hang him because he's in Badung. And you're not supposed to be doing Badung stuff like that.
No.
So don't be dung. Don't be dung bong. All right? Don't be dumb. All right.
All right.
All right, moving on. Check this out. A man with 60 pounds of the ganja tried to board the airlines, a flight out of Nashville, Tennessee, only to be busted
by the
Badung police. They were there to find his ass because he was in connection with the hot house in Badung. Anyways, they busted his ass. 60 pounds was in his suitcase. Each pound was vacuum sealed very tightly. Not tight enough. Not tight enough. And then he also had Febreze to fill in the smell of the Badung, stench. It's kind of like fish. It just stinks. So he had all these poundages, and the dog, the airport security dope sniffing dog, ratted his ass out.
Like badung.
Yeah, almost bit his ass. Went crazy. He was like, I was just trying to pet him, and no, that's the signal that you got badung. All right, so sit down. Yeah, there it is.
The Baduff.
Exactly what happened.
So he's going to jail. Next one.
Yeah, he's going to jail for a long time.
What about the World Cup?
World Cup, guess what? England blew it today. They had the opportunity.
They lost?
They lost. They lost to Croatia in overtime, mate. Overtime.
Is that they don't call it overtime, do they?
It was
they call it extra time.
It was overtime. They win it. The game ended at the 93rd minute, and then they add 2 15-minute halves, and whoever wins that wins. Yeah. And Croatia won it. They scored the goal, and England couldn't come back to equalize it to go into penalty kicks.
Cracky.
So they go back home to England, mate.
Badung.
They go back to Badung. So now this is something for you guys that bring weed on your Ubers. Uber drivers have on their Uber driving app, rat you out smoking weed, got weed on car, weed in pocket, passenger smell like alcohol. They'll rat you out for your ganja. So don't be getting all up in Uber thinking like it's cool to have weed on you and stinking it up, because they might just rat you out.
They ain't down?
They ain't down. They got it in their app. They go ahead and just rat you out through their phone app. You don't even know they're doing it. They're doing it. They're just up there.
Is that what you do? Boop, 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 Uber driver?
Yeah, I rat everybody out that gets in the car, so I never get paired up with them again.
You're like, I'm ratting you out unless you give me half.
He sells them the fucking weed.
Yeah, and then I give him a 1 star, and I'm like, give him my phone number, and I'm like, just call me. Don't
Call me to
Uber,
up-
just
up
call
your
me.
status.
I will drive you to your job and give you some weed. That's right. So that's what you do with the Uber driver dudes.
You even give them the P to pass the
All right.
drug test.
You just go ahead and tell them, give me your phone number, and then you come pick me up. I'll pay for that ride, and I can maybe get you some weed. Maybe if I got some
urea samples for drug tests.
I got
Lots
plenty
of
of
urea
urea
samples.
samples tonight.
Tons of urea samples right after this Miller Lite. And
You're like worthless stuff.
I had another story. There's another story. It's good.
Yeah?
Breaking news.
Says who? You?
Breaking news. I forgot my.
Top notch.
I forgot my story. Dude. The fuck was it? God damn it.
That's some good shit.
No, it's good. It was good. Fuck. Hold on. Maybe it's in here. Hold on.
What is it, Duff?
Ah, fuck. I don't remember, bro.
Oh, well. I guess that concludes the world according to Duff.
Totally fucking
Wasn't it something
forgot.
about weed?
Yeah, it was about weed because it's awesome.
All right.
Oh yeah, Tiger Woods was smoking weed on the golf course
Oh, there it is. Tiger Woods smoking weed on the golf course.
with Martha Stewart.
With Martha Stewart. Really?
Yeah.
That's for real. That's because I reported
Jiggity,
it's real.
Jiggity Drum's taking your news now. He took your seat, now he's taking your news.
Hey, Snoop Dogg told me they were smoking weed.
He
So it's
stole
true.
your weed and sold it back to you, and you said thank you.
You guys are smoking me out, made me forget my news. That's what happened.
All right. Well, thank you, Dr. Duff. The World According to Duff every week is brought to you by Nanolux Tech, proud sponsors of The World According to Duff.
Yeah.
Let's not forget Dodgers SoCal, the Grower Skybox Sweepstakes with Miller Soil and DFC Radio and Honor the Plant is coming. Why? Because growers need a day off too. You can win one of 20 tickets to the LA Dodger versus San Diego Padre game on August 25th of this year. Enjoy access to a private skybox. Hang out with Jerome and Horty. That's going to be awesome. And other fellow growers, including
Fuck
some
Horty.
of Southern California's top professional growers. All winners will receive a swag bag. Enter to win by clicking on the link in DFZ Radio's bio on IG. That's at DFZ Radio. Make sure to give some love to the co-sponsors and follow at Miller Soils LLC and at Honor the Plant. And while you're at it, go to at Heavy Tea Grow Show and at You Know What's Good and unfollow Horty Chris.
Oh, I remember my news now. I
Fuck that
remember
guy,
my
but
news
he's
now.
cool.
Turn off notifications.
All right, give us Dr. Duff's news music again. He remembered.
I remember it. It just came to me. Damn, weed was strong.
That's the sun-grown shit.
Riverside in California has banned marijuana. They don't want that drug in their freaking county.
The
They
hydropocalypse.
said we don't need
But-
that freaking marijuana
but listen,
addiction.
it was
Outdoors.
Riverside.
Up in here. You
It was-
cannot do outdoor.
Hey,
You cannot have a-
Cabrones. It was Riverside City, not a county.
Riverside, whatever. They own
There's
everything.
still hope for us in unincorporated Riverside.
Yeah, the country of California.
Yeah, well, they said no. So look out, coming to a county in Riverside near you.
That's a city.
They're banning it from you guys.
The hydropocalypse continues.
I
That's
thought that
right.
was just outdoors, Duff. The
Hey,
fuck?
no dispensaries, no outdoor activities.
Only 6 plants.
You can't even.
Indoors.
You can't even exercise.
Only 6.
You can't do anything.
You
Only
can't
prop-
exercise.
it's
It's
only prop
120
6
It's
degrees.
against the law now.
And Prop 64.
I mean, you
only
can, but
allowed.
that's some serious calories.
You can only do your 6 plants
All right,
indoors only.
Once again, thank you, Dr. Duff, for gracing us with your 15 minutes.
Riverside.
I want a refund for my money I paid to be here.
That's news.
You need to go pick up beer.
You haven't even paid me.
You got
For a
paid
long
plenty.
ass time.
Out my face with that shit. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. Joe, you stepped out for a second,
Yeah.
and now you're back. Put on your headset,
I
if you don't mind.
No problem.
So you could hear what's going on. You're going to help us out. Horty Chris has been banished to the insane asylum. Jiggity's here. Dr. Duff's going to be here. Let's take these last 3 calls before we go to the grand prize, yeah?
Sure, man.
Sounds
I
good.
got
Let's
'em.
do it. Flow Rider's been hanging out for a while. What's up, Flow Rider? Or Brandon in Florida. Flow Rider.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey, man.
What's up, man?
Sorry about
Hey,
that phone
man,
bill.
Just starting my first grow, built the cabinet. It's about 5 feet tall, 3 feet wide, and about 2 feet deep. I was just wondering what you guys would recommend for lighting, type of lighting, wattage, and all that kind of stuff. And then you guys recommend like side lighting as well.
I'd put 1,000 watt Kavita in there.
I mean, you want to go with a light that's going to throw off a lower radiant heat to the canopy. I think Joe's, Unknown Grower stepped on it perfectly earlier. It's not so much about the light as it is the actual spectrum or the PAR you're getting from the plant. So sometimes a lower wattage light brought closer to the canopy will give you a PAR reading similar to a 1,000 watt light. So when you're getting down, he's already breaking it fucking down. I see him with his notepad. He's going to tell you here in about 30 seconds exactly what it means. But I'll tell you what.
Chicken butt.
Go with something that has lower heat. If you can afford it, LEDs are typically going to be a little bit more expensive. However, I personally have been using the 315 LEC Boss just recently, starting out some transplants, and they're fucking killing it. And one thing I like about it compared to the original LEC from Sunlight was they gave it a dimmability. So I can go down to 50% and 10% increments. And when you're starting out a plant, sometimes you may not want the higher intensity, or you might be fighting, ceiling height issues or whatever it may be. In your issue, you have 5 feet. So you want to make sure that you have something that's not only going to be able to control the heat levels, but also be able to control the light level as well when that issue occurs.
Gotcha.
Joe,
and would
you got some notes over there that you're working on?
Oh, yeah. I was just saying. Generally, it's just you want to use if you have a small space, like use a small light. If you have a large space, use a large light. But you need to have a large enough space to dissipate the heat from the light. Otherwise, the room gets too hot, and then you end up with problems. So it's just use common sense. Don't stick a big light in a small space. It's not gonna make things better.
Get a cubic foot per minute type inline fan that's evacuating the area in accordance with the actual dimensions of your tent or grow area. And if that fan, typically at a 4-inch fan, is going to be anywhere from 130 to 200 CFM, you may need to get a fan speed controller so you can dim it down, because on a 10, a lot of times you're going to notice, even with the vent flaps open on the bottom, it's going to start to suck in. And sometimes the pressure of that, you're going to lose grow space because it starts to touch the plants, which also cuts down on air circulation. So, a fan speed controller is ideal no matter what size fan you have. This way you can dial in the environment, so this way you can dissipate the heat. If you don't have an air conditioner, and some people have, you may be able to play with the actual ambient temperature of the room that the tent's in. Maybe it's a 10-degree fluctuation where it's colder outside the tent in variance with the actual exhaust fan, that you're able to pull out the actual heat that's in the tent and actually exchange it with the air in the room to give you a temperature range that you're looking for.
I got grow in a little small area, and I got this little military flashlight. It's the LED.
Check it out.
And
Come
it's
on,
super bright. It's the Dr. Duff LED flashlight.
Hey,
it's for the small.
Dr. Duff here.
Yeah.
He's going
Dr.
random.
Duff man here. Got the LED flashlight for your grow.
System, that doesn't make a difference.
Hey.
Yeah, no, hey, wait,
Don't
sir.
interrupt Dr. Duff, Brandon.
Yeah, this is my commercial, bro. You know what? And you want to grow with this little flashlight because it's got wider brightness than the sun. That's right. It's wider brightness than the sun. Stronger than anything, bro. You can freeze it. You can kick it. You can burn it. You could shoot it, and it will still work. That's how good this light is.
It's got lumens
You
from
can
OG
throw it in
Simpson,
the
I heard.
sun. You
I-
can
All
throw
right,
it
I'm
to
sold.
the sun.
I'm sold.
And it will
Sign me up.
definitely work. With Dr. Duff Bright, it's a flashlight. Dr. Duff Bright flashlight. You'll be brighter than the sun. Guaranteed to blow up your little grow
O.J.
like no
Simpson.
other. Plants are going to love you for it. Literally have sex with you. Your plants were going to love
In need
you.
of a spotlight on
All right.
on a
That's all you
moment's
need.
notice?
Get
Dr.
it.
Duff's light.
If you're lonely, get my light. The plants will love you.
Guaranteed to cause hermaphrodation.
Like
This
a
is not a real
literal.
product.
If the light fits, you must equip.
Well, Brandon, they took Brandon. I put him on hold real quick, but Marcos took him away from us real quick. Joe, you're absolutely right. Talking about how much light to put in a space, it's about how you can control the amount of heat coming off that. Heat's our number one factor for failure in indoor growing. if you have just a big light in a small space that you cannot control the heat or it's too short, you're just going to fry your plants. You made an oven. You didn't make a grow room. Okay, so looking at what you want to do, if you're able to cool it properly, I mean, per square foot of grow space, what do you think, Jerome, on how many watts?
I personally prefer that 315 Boss because of the horizontal arc tube. You're getting a reflective pattern that's not giving a directional heat imprint right below it. What I've noticed between the original LEC 315s and the new ones is just that, is being able to throw that light spectrum over and also being able to dim down the light. So as far as that size tent, I can tell you from experience.
Well, like 50 to 65 watts would probably do them
I
proper.
used to have a 600-watt ballast that would dim down to
50 to
50%.
65 watts per square foot.
But the thing is I had an air conditioner in the room. If you don't have an air conditioner in the room that controls the ambient temperature outside the tent, that has to be relatively colder than the temperature inside your tent, you're never going to be able to cool down your temperatures inside the tent if the temperatures outside the tent are equivalent or higher than inside the tent, if that makes sense.
I got you. Brandon, you're getting some Terpinator, some Cali Magic, and some HB 101 going out to you, man. I appreciate you calling in. Let's keep moving along and get to Mike. He's got a question about green pads. What's going on, Mike?
Hello, Mr. Heavy.
Oh, Mr. Mike, man. Are you not...
Shit,
environment's everything. Are you not too hot where you live?
Hey, we're hot out of here.
It's getting hot in there. You actually are moving towards a free state. Congratulations.
Free state?
No, man.
Is it bullshit?
Let me tell you what.
Oklahoma.
The governor signed the bill today, and we can't smoke. We can get it with low THC and non-smokable products only.
Fuck, I thought you guys were about to say everybody gets a free steak.
Oh.
Can you believe this?
Hey.
Non-smokable.
Yeah, man. Well, they don't want people addicted to smoke.
Yeah, well, I can believe it. The middle of the
anyway, hey.
But nonetheless, you're over there with your tomatoes, and it's the middle of summer. Let's help you out.
Yes, sir. For those that are not really familiar with the green pads, when do you start using them? Do you start using them at first flower? What?
Okay, so Green Pads makes 3 different products. The original, which is, a standard size pad. You give it a squirt, it'll emit CO2. CO2 is one of the elements that's necessary for photosynthesis. If you're able to increase CO2 and you have the proper light and you have enough water, then you can speed up cell division. You can get larger plants, and we see this. So adding CO2 to bloom, obviously beneficial. If for larger areas, they have the granddaddy pad. But that's the standard thought of growers indoors. We're buying CO2, whether it's a green pad or a bottle or a generator, paying for natural gas to go in and generate it. So most people say, listen, if I'm going to spend my money, I'm going to spend it on the money-making part of this, the fruit production, right? The flower production. Well, lo and behold, the CO2 can be beneficial to the plant in all stages of growth. So, like I said, it's a crucial part. It is a necessary part for photosynthesis, which basically is a cycle that generates all the other intrinsic cycles of the plant's lifespan. So if you're able to add the right amount of CO2 during cloning or root development, you can speed up those cycles. If during veg, the same thing. It's just, for the most part, most indoor growers won't add additional CO2 until bloom, but it's beneficial the entire way through.
Okay, all right. I can relate to that.
All right.
I can relate to that. So basically, we can use the green pads, juniors, and so on and so on, starting from day one of cloning.
Yeah, you could put them in there. They're designed to be put in there with it. They're activated by the humidity, and it's not going to be where you're trying. Because listen, clones that don't have roots yet, you want to facilitate the process of developing clones and driving the energy. The plant needs energy, which comes from photosynthesis and the development of sugars that the plant naturally makes, right? And those are the compounds that drive the energy of the life force of the plant. So the plant still needs to photosynthesize even without roots. You have the humidity in the dome, and that's where it's getting water. You have a low light, so you can't put too much CO2. So a little bit additional CO2 in a closed environment like that is going to be depleted. I'm talking about a humididome. If in a closed environment like that, if you add additional CO2 to keep the level slightly higher rather than deplete it, everything else is going to function better.
All right. Okay. I understand now.
Right.
Appreciate that.
Dr.
Mr.
Duff
T.
left the room. Oh, no, that was Adam. Or Andrew, sorry.
Well,
Too many Miller Lights.
Joseph, in relation to CO2, what would you think the percentage to increase of chlorophyll production, increase of ppms per parts per million is above the natural occurring in relative air? Meaning, like, they say 400 parts per million is in the air we breathe, roughly, right? So if people aren't, for me, it's like ppms in regards to the CO2 is like a turbocharger to the plant, correct?
I mean, the plant is used.
And the mic.
Sorry. Okay. So CO2 is what the plant uses for respiration. The plant fundamentally is storing sugar, or generating sugar. So it takes the light, like the lights that we shine at the plant, and we take
Dr.
that.
Duff's light bright.
Yep.
It takes.
With like the green pads, you don't necessarily have a very actual percentage of CO2 you have, but increasing the CO2, how is that relating to people as far as beneficial in their growth?
It's what allows a plant to produce sugar. It's how it breathes. Plants have multiple respiration pathways, and they need both of them. So the plant will both produce oxygen and it will produce CO2. So, it will exchange. It will actually breathe in. Has two different breathing patterns. But the thing is that if you don't have enough CO2, the plant's not going to produce any sugar. That's how it makes sugar. Is it takes CO2 and it takes CO2, takes the carbon, puts hydrogen onto it, and creates long branches of it.
Can you overdose on CO2?
Plants need to have a certain amount of oxygen too, so they have a different pathway that they need oxygen for. So, but that's normally at night. So, but the thing is that if you have an enclosed environment and you run out of CO2, then it doesn't matter how much light you shoot at the plant. It's not going to make any more sugar. It just can't make any. And that's what most people are trying to do is produce, crystals, cannabinoids, produce THC, produce terpenes, and all those things require light.
So a
and
Brix
CO2.
level is in accordance to the health level of the plant as well.
Well, that's half of it. So the Brix is a measurement of the sugar content of the plant's serum and the mineral content. So it's a combination of the two. And the sugars are a wide range of different compounds a plant produces as it grows to do different things.
You got to understand, a lot of people out there right now are going to rewind tonight's episode and understand that they could put this on a resume as they went to a college class after listening to you.
They just have to fast forward through Horty and I's bullshit.
Yeah. No, this is great. For me, this is very informative. And in listening to somebody like you, there's a lot of people out there that want to hear every little part of it. It's not just like some snake oil type verbiage where they're just like selling you on something. You're actually breaking it down to a lot of people out there tonight.
Well, and it has been a pleasure talking with you. But Mike,
yes, sir.
The long short of it is CO2 can be beneficial in all stages of growth.
It's necessary if the plant to grow. The plant needs CO2 to make energy.
And then enhance CO2, but you also have to combine it with the proper amount of light, the proper amount of hydration. Right. So you have those three elements, then everything else is going to go down the line. All right, Mike, check it out. I'm sending you a swag pack, including some HB 101 and some other stuff from Heavy T's Grow Show, man. I really appreciate you calling. How you doing with your back, man? Mike has been a Duff-Free soldier, Joe, for damn near the beginning, like last 7-8 years. I was thinking, I was like, damn, Mike might have not be able to get out of bed anymore with his back. He's not calling into the show. I don't know. It's been a second.
I listen. Ain't no need for me to call. I'm gathering that knowledge, my brother.
Hey, listen, he's listened so long. I bet he starts answering the questions before he even hears our voice.
That's right. But having back about the same. Still try to debate on if I want to get that fourth surgery on it. Don't know if I will. Don't know if I will. Or what.
I feel you, man.
I'm still kicking.
That's right.
I'm still smoking. And, you never did use my little saying here, I like that
What's that?
terpinator because it makes it sticky, icky.
Sticky, icky.
That's what I'm talking about.
All right, Mike, man.
But anyway,
I appreciate you. And
sounds like some Snoop Dogg right
listen,
there.
Yeah, right.
Stay healthy.
Oh, yeah, that old green cracky.
Stay healthy and keep growing. Keep growing. It's a good day if I woke up on this side of the soil. That's what
right, baby. Every day I see the sunrise, it's a good day.
And then you're reminded you're in Oklahoma and like, fuck.
Yeah, right then I remember where I am. Hey, but we're going to catch up.
You're on it, man. I was out there during Christmas, and it was legit. I really enjoyed the state, and I enjoy you as a listener, Mike, man.
Hey, I appreciate it. I enjoyed listening to the show.
All right, brother.
A lot of good knowledge come down through that pipe there, Big Daddy.
Once in a while, dog. I'll talk to you later. All right, we got Adam, last caller before the grand prize giveaway. Adam, what's going on? Adam might not be the last caller. It might have been Mike.
Maybe it's done.
Badang. He is
Badang.
sayonara.
Badang.
That's it. That's a wrap,
right.
Joe.
Hey, starting me on, man.
Hey, don't run away yet. Let's get some
more?
drops, man. You didn't have to sit through all this bullshit not to promote yourself. Tell us where we can find out more about all of your products, websites, social media, upcoming events. What's up?
Everything, you can see everything at primordialsolutions.com that I'm doing or involved with, and there'll be a lot more coming out. And if you wanted to check anything out, I'd say I did a video on how to on how to make organic fertilizer that shows or emphasizes that you can literally use battery acid and Drano to make organic fertilizer, and that's kind of ridiculous. So I think that we need to talk about what organic actually means in a real way instead of like just politics. It needs to be based on science. And
Right.
I think that both chemicals and organic inputs are useful as long as they're used in the right amount, and we need to stop being childish about that reality, because not understanding what needs to be done to make things sustainable is it's not going to happen if we're just
Sunny
if we're just
Delight
built-
is antifreeze.
It's become a label more than a lifestyle.
Well, no, it's just it's missing the point. We want it to be healthier, or the organic standard hasn't done that. If
Well,
anything,
what
it's
about
tried.
reclaiming the language, organic, and the same thing with probiotic, right? And we see that people are the way that it's being used isn't necessarily in tune with.
The thing, did you know that all of our antibiotics are produced by probiotics?
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't know a lot, man. I just know every
it's
Wednesday at 6
what's
I'll
the
be
difference
here.
between the two? And Matt doesn't. It's the same thing. We take literally streptomycin, or make 78% of our antibiotics. So streptomycin makes up to 80% of our antibiotics, and those organisms are used to make cheeses and milks, and they're in things that we normally eat. So literally, like, antibiotics and probiotics really are the same thing. And if you either have probiotics or good organisms living in an environment, or you have organisms that are not so healthy for you taking it over, and understanding what controls that, I think, is the main goal of our company, Primordial Solutions, because we're fundamentally a research company. The products are just a side effect of that research.
And you're making it available, which is awesome. What about some literature, some of your favorite books where people can understand more about these functions?
Read the Diffco manual. It talks about how to culture every different type of organism, and the Berge's manual of systematic microbiology is a great resource if you want to see all the different environments organisms will live, and the different foods that they need to grow and to multiply. I think that's very useful, and I think just getting to know how many different organisms there are living all the way around you, in every different place that you look where you think there's no life, there's something that lives there, and each one of those organisms is part of what created this earth. And understanding that balance is what will allow us to actually create a better planet, or a better earth. And it has really nothing to do with chemicals or not. It has to do
The
with
sterilization of our
understanding that.
earth. And the sterilization of ourselves, it's killing ourselves. We're creating these super bugs. And that end, you talked about the soil, the sterilization of the soil through overuse of synthetic nitrogen and how it's working, man. It was a great conversation. I don't think we even had enough time. I think we can go further down that rabbit hole. But I want to thank you very much. Primordial Solutions.
Thank you, man. Thanks for having me on.
Can I clarify? You just said pizza's healthy, right? With cheeses?
Exactly. That's what I said.
Fuck yeah.
So
Thank
beer.
you. Thank you to Tim for calling in. Thank you to Andrew for coming as well. Grand prize question. Here it is. And we have some things to give out. What do we have to give out, Dr. Dove?
I'm not fat, I'm healthy.
Whole house.
We have one of the new products, which is part of the question from Primordial here to give out, but we also have some HB 101. We have some granddaddy pads for that CO2. We have a truncheon meter from Blue Lab. We have a gallon interpolator. We have a new double-ended max power 1,000-watt bulb from Nanolux. We also have some smart pots. And some swag from Botanicare, all going out to you. Now, the grand prize question is this. Because Horty Chris isn't here. He got all butthurt and ran away. like a little spinach.
Vagina.
What are the 2 new products from Primordial? Don't say it. Don't say it. The 2 new products. That we talked about
But
tonight.
I think I can actually answer that.
I know. Don't answer it, but unless you want to win it.
This is a hint.
All right.
Something like this?
Shake weighting. He's
Yeah,
using a shake weight.
Shake
What are the
weight.
2 new products we talked about tonight? Right here on Heavy T's Grow Show, 562-653-0707. Get your garden in order. Heavy T's Grow Show with Jiggity Rome, Dr. Duff, Sin, Horty Chris. Thanks to Primordial. DFZRadio.com. Don't spill the sea green.
Symphonies tuned to a level volume. Windows cracked, feel the chilly breeze of the spirits calling. Night lights crawling, ricocheting off the water. Vision in the rear mirror, plus I'm watching what's before me. 360 peripherals keep us in the middle, like hubcaps rolling through instrumentals. It's the minimal, Millennium Falcon, master movement, middle dimensional. Metamorphosis minerals, laser, DeLorean missiles. Megatron reassemble, coming together Nicole from Symbols, Brazilian, African, and Castaneda. Say the math for later, but now just enjoy the flavor. Golden but boldy and carne aside, forget the label. Japanese tires around American rims on a European car, beautiful but so bizarre. And it's all on top of a black top, riding through space, light speed, time still at a racer's pace. The final race.
DFCRadio.com. DFCRadio.com.
Are you ready to start cloning but don't know where to start? HDI has you covered, the only propagation-focused company. HDI was founded in 1997 and is the master distributor of Clonex throughout North America, like the Clonex rooting gel, which has been on the market since 1988, EPA registered and approved for use on food crops and cannabis. It's the only rooting gel approved by the Washington and Colorado Department of Agriculture for propagating cannabis plants, used by thousands of plant nurseries, commercial growers, scientists, and greenhouse growers with billions of clones successfully rooted. That's Clonex rooting gel. But healthy clones start with healthy mothers. And with Mother Plant from HDI, you are fulfilling the nutritional needs of mother plants without excess nitrates, supporting strong, vibrant clones. And now you're ready for some Clonex Mist, a ready-to-use foliar spray for mother plants, cuttings, and rooting clones. Pop your clones into Root Riot plant starter cubes, and they are safe for use in hydroponic systems and our proprietary blend of micronutrients that is certified food safe. And don't forget to add the mycorrhiza with Clonex Root Maximizer, a mycorrhizae fungi, beneficial bacteria, and trichoderma that increases the surface area of your plant's roots, allowing the plants to access more nutrients and water. And don't forget to feed with Clonex Clone Solution, formulated for rooted clones and seedlings, a special blend of minerals and vitamins that encourage rapid root development. So no matter what your propagation needs are, remember HDI has you covered. Check them out at hydrodynamicsintl.com. That's hydrodynamicsintl.com.
Dilly Heavy Tea Grow Show. But dilly.
Dr. Duffman here. Wanted to talk to you about what I wish I had in my garden. And that, my friends, is a Nanolux double-ended fixture, which is leading the industry as I speak in double-ended technology. I will no longer need 10 150-watt lights to cover my 5x5 area. With just one double-ended fixture from Nanolux, I can cover that area. Also, no more need for that pesky Richter timer of mine that goes off at all kinds of random hours. With Nanolux's fixture, it comes NCCS ready, meaning I can control it on my computer. So if you're like me and your lighting situation sucks, then upgrade to Nanolux's double-ended fixtures today, and don't be a duff man. For more information on Nanolux, check them out at nanoluxtech.com. That's NANOLUXTECH.com.
So you're big time, huh?
Yeah, kinda.
You are listening to the Heavy Tea Grow Show. Call in right now, 562-653-0707, for your chance to talk to Heavy Tea, Horty Chris, or Dr. Duffman. Killing it.
Launch crew, ready to reservoir.
What's the load factor, sir?
Bring in the Rizoblast liquid at 2 mils per gallon.
Okay, sir. We are loaded and ready to launch.
10, 9.
Okay, men. It's time to blast off into the plant's root zone and into another galaxy of root growth.
Rizoblast is a proprietary blend of seaweed and the single-celled algae chlorella. Chlorella's abundance of amino acids and minerals contribute to its value in hydroponics. The benefits used in Rizoblast are explosive root growth, the use with any growing medium or hydro system, its ideal use for transplanting, and the enhancement of your plant vigor and fast-flowering plants. Let your plants have a blast and see a world of a difference with Rizoblast from Botanicare. Check it out at www.botanicare.com.
Yo, Kelly, pass me that blunt. You feel me? Mm-hmm.
Have you ever been interested in gardening with dry fertilizers? Well, you're not the only one, and let me tell you about Vermicrop Organics and their line of organic dry fertilizers. Healthy plants with a simple 4-step process. Step 1. Just measure out a half teaspoon per gallon of soil or 2 cups per 12 square feet of soil surface area. Step 2. Apply evenly to the soil surface. Step 3. Blend into the top layer of soil to avoid caking. Step 4. Water thoroughly. And that's it, simple as that. Great for vegetables, fruits, flowers, potted plants, trees, shrubs, annuals, and perennials. It's Vermicrop Organics VermiVeg 744. Along with the VermiBloom and PK Boost, you will have a complete line of organic nutrients and a garden that will thank you with a great harvest. Looking for an even simpler way? Then check out the Vermiall 666. This game-changing mix is formulated for all stages of growth and the fast-paced garden of champion vegetable and flower growers. And check out the VermiBat Guano Fertilizer and the VermiBlood Blood Meal Fertilizer for feeding oversized, nitrogen-hungry plants. Learn more at vermicrop.com. That's vermicrop.com.
DFCRadio.com.
Yeah, I'm in the studio with my nephew, Prov on the track. This on emo, baby. I'm a bad mom, I'm an OG. I'm a 60-year-old with a bad knee. I smoke that till I can't see. Everybody trying to get with me. I'm a bad mom, I'm an OG. I'm a 60-year-old with a bad knee. I smoke that till I can't see. Everybody trying to get with me. I got that Benz, I got that Jag, I got that money that never ever ends. When I step out, it's party time, and I be loaded out my mind. I spend my cash, and I always got my stash. I wanna be like currency and smoke up all them trees. I don't be frontin', I don't be stuntin', I be getting mine all the time. I'm living hard, I party harder, I be rolling like there ain't no tomorrow. I'm a bad mom, I'm a OG, I'm a 60-year-old with a bad knee. I smoke that till I can't see. Everybody trying to get with me. I'm a bad mom, I'm a OG, I'm a 60-year-old with a bad knee. I smoke that till I can't see. Everybody trying to get with me. I went to 9, I did my time, but I never lost my mind. I'm doing fine, and I got mine. They pay me all the time. Life is good, God is great, and my money ain't never late. I work real hard, I never quit, and I'm always getting mine. I got that gold, I got that soul, and I'm really just too bold. I'm a gangster, I'm a hustler, and I never stop as long as I can bustle. I'm a bad mom, I'm a OG, I'm a 60-year-old with a bad knee. I smoke that till I can't see. Everybody trying to get with me. I'm a bad mom, I'm a OG, I'm a 60-year-old with a bad knee. I smoke that till I can't see. Everybody trying to get with me. Kanye West ain't the best. You just ain't heard the rest. I talk that, I live that, and of course you know I smoke that. I feel like a mother, feel like a mother, feel like a bad mother. Yeah. I feel like a mother, feel like a mother, feel like a bad mother. I'm a real.
Come on. Welcome back, Heavy T's Radio Show. I hope you enjoyed the show. This is Heavy T. I'm here with the latest top 10 at 10. Number 10 is Gotti Gotti by Tekashi 6ix9ine. Number 9 is Treyway. What are some more Tekashi songs because isn't he in the top 10?
Kuda, Kiki, Kinky,
Treyway.
Sherbert.
Hey, Marcos Pollos, Stubby Pollos. You blew your hand off with all those fireworks. It wasn't a bad case of chlamydia from TJ. HB 101 will clear it up. All right.
I just want to
There's
sing.
no farms, cabrón. God damn, why you dressed
I always wanted to sing.
Damn, allegedly.
Vato.
Allegedly.
Tu culero, cabrón. Damn.
Fuck those
100% compliant.
Whatever,
Tested in Tijuana.
Hey, puedo hablar mucho español, ok? Mucho compliant.
Quieres muchos motos.
Ah, PG soccer. Football.
Cross country kickball.
Brazil. Neymar. All right, we're back, Ronaldo. Messi. We're in soccer hell here in the U.S.
You love it.
Yeah, I totally do.
You're so into it.
It's better than
Illegal
whatever
immigration.
else is
That's the best way to fucking get drunk at 6 a.m. for a lot of my friends.
For real.
For real.
Like alcohol.
All right, Dr. Duff, go ahead and remind everyone what the grand prize question was.
My mic's not on.
It's on now.
It is now.
My mic's on now. What 2 new products does Primordial Solutions have?
You haven't even drank any.
Primordial.
I know.
Not primoldy.
I know. I said primordial.
Fucking
What are
You
2
know.
new products? These listeners have 1 new product.
Primordial Solution.
This is a hint right here.
Yeah,
This is one of them.
And line 1, I don't have a name.
Adam.
The guy that didn't answer when I...
Yeah.
Should I take him?
That's Adam.
All right, I'll take Adam.
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 Hello.
Adam.
Hello.
Adam.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing
Hey,
good.
hi.
Okay, one more time, Dr. Duff. What is the grand prize question?
What 2 new products did Primordial Solutions come out with?
This and that.
This and that. What is it?
Go ahead.
Terp jerk and paleo boom.
Terp
Oh.
what? Terp what?
Jerk.
Spell that.
Jerk.
Jerk.
Fun. It is not terp jerk.
Nope.
But it's a good try.
Oh,
Alex.
so close,
That
yet
should be.
so far
Should
away.
be.
Good try, bro.
Because you got to shake it like you're jerking off.
Yeah.
He was full.
All right, Mike.
You know his good hand movements.
Mike hung up because he thought he knew it.
Hey, no, it's
The only 2 motherfuckers that knew it. You know what, Dr.
This
Duff?
has to shake it too.
Dr.
This HB
Duff.
101.
What are the 2 new products, Dr. Duff?
That's it. It's right here. It's Paleo Bloom and Terp
Jerking.
Terp Jerp.
Jerking.
Or GURP?
Gurping.
Is it terp GURP or GERP?
It's spinach.
Jerp.
Oh, man.
Derp.
Terp
jerk.
Spinacid.
You know what?
No, it's
Spinacid.
Since Mike hung up and everyone else sucked a big one, we're giving it to Adam.
Yeah.
Dude, it's right out getting in
You
front
just
of your
won the grand
phone.
prize.
Thank you.
All right, brother. You got a truncheon from Blue Lab. Go to
Hey, grab that bottle.
getbluelab.com.
What is it spelled? I don't. It's fucking right there.
GERP.
Jerp.
Gurp.
Jerp. Jerp. Jerp.
Jerome would know.
Hold on. Let's see.
He put spinacid on
I put
his
gherkin in my
spinach.
jerkin. All right.
Spinach on the
Whatever, dude.
spinach.
She grows with the GURP.
Whatever, dude. Give me
Whatever.
some in and out. Hey, you got hooked up, brother. We hooked you up with a
Horticrogina.
Paleo Bloom. We're also hooking you up with a truncheometer from Blue Lab, some Granddaddy pads, a gallon of Turpinator, a Nanolux 1,000-watt bulb, some smart pots, and a swag pack from Botanicare. I didn't write any of that down.
Oh man.
I'm going to, Adam. Trust.
Put a marker on that, Saint.
Trust.
Yeah.
Horty Chris, now that you're back,
Mark, you
and
got
some
it.
HB 101.
Mark,
Horty
so
Chris,
listen
now
back.
that you're back, can you get me a soundbite at least?
Every Wednesday night from 6 to 10 Pacific Standard Time, who's hooking you up with the dopest grow knowledge and the freshest grow gear?
Adam!
Sorry, it's Heavy Teeth Grow Show on DFC Radio.
All right, Adam. Adam, you might be the worst call-in.
The worst grand prize winner ever.
Answer the question wrong.
I'm smoking key lime pie.
You know what though? Hey, Heavy T.
He
Heavy
won
T?
on that. Yes, I'm here.
The Special Olympics
love
just
those
was
things.
happening. I watched the opening ceremony, so that was a good thing to do to give Adam
been a while
the grand
since you
prize.
saw your sister.
Yeah, I know, right?
Hey, Adam, did you grow the key lime pie?
Then I changed the channel, and my girl was like, "That's not fair." I was like, "Whatever. I hope she catches herself on fire and not that torch."
Hey, did you grow that key lime pie you're smoking on, Adam?
No, he bought it in Key West.
Hey, dude, that shit's golden. You can fly with that shit in 55 days.
35.
All right. Well, if you want Jerome's email address,
Yeah.
don't bother because he
55.
doesn't text message or email. He only calls.
Yeah, I'm old school, motherfucker. Answer your phone. You text me. You got time to answer.
I can't answer you when I'm on the alleged farm.
Whatever, fool.
It's not Terp Jerk Adam. It's Terp Jerk Burger.
Terp Gerp to jerk all day.
Thank you for listening, and of course, stay safe,
Don't
brother.
be a jerk. Use Terp Gerp.
All right, here we go. We've got some
Gerping
events
it.
coming up, including a giveaway here. It's not over yet, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, chitlins of all ages. We got the Chichironas going down at Hydro Pacific. Pre-harvest Customer Appreciation Day, 12 to 4, July 13th in Ukiah, California.
Chaya.
The California Bureau of Cannabis Control, their cannabis advisory meeting is July 19th at 10 a.m. at the Hilton San Diego Mission Valley Cortez Ballroom. The committee plans to webcast this meeting online at https:// dick in your face, forward dick in your whatever the fuck. The DCAPAGE, like the Decoupchicabra.blog webcast. For more information, I don't know, fucking California Bureau of Cannabis Control. Just Google that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Midwest Canna Women's Medical Cannabis Pioneers Picnic.
Why is this guy reading the news?
Piccadilly,
We're all
pick a
reading.
pair, motherfucker, fuck you. Cleveland, Ohio.
Can you get him a beat?
Can we
Los
finish?
LeBron
Let's just get through
James, July 22nd, 3 to 7 p.m. Rid-All Green Partnership, Cleveland, Ohio. Damn, that's a long motherfucker.
All right, go
title.
ahead,
Fuck,
Duff.
that's
Next
a lot
one.
of bull letters.
NCIA's Cannabis Business Summit and Expo, July 25th through the 27th in San Jose, California. Cultivating a new era of enterprise.
Right.
The most influential, award-winning cannabis trade show in the U.S. Hosted by the industry's only national trade association's returning era.
What?
Era. CannaCon Boston, July 27th and 28th.
Oh, damn.
Some of the
Enough to read 'em
seminars include affordable cannabis industry startup, cannabis food safety, a risk not worth taking, cannabis licenses and application process in Massachusetts, and cultivating advantages, maintaining a competitive edge in the greenhouse. Get that angel investor, that's how. For more info on seminars and to get tickets, visit CannaCon.org.
I'm taking the short one. Fuck you, Horty. Join DFZ Radio Hydroponics Chef Heavy T Grow Show as a media sponsor for Industry Nights, August 4th, hosted by Blue and Pop Brothers at Envy Lounge in Costa Mesa.
That's close to Mexico.
yeah.
Motherfucking shit.
We turn it up.
Doors open at 9 p.m. Nueve.
Hey, did they put
Upscale attire, motherfuckers.
Did
That
they put
means
upscale
flip-flops.
attire just to try to get us out of it?
Yeah, but it's in close to Mexico, California, Orange County, so you need to wear a shirt that's sequined with flames on it and some
Yes.
patent leather shoes with big, huge clog bottoms and like flames on the toes.
Yes.
Very
and,
nice.
And if you want to go to a Dodger game, Horty.
You need to know about the Dodgers SoCal Grower Skybox Sweepstakes. I'll say it again. The Dodgers SoCal Growers Skybox Sweepstakes, presented by Miller Soil and co-sponsored by DFZ Radio and Honor the Plant, because growers need a day off too. You can win one of 20 tickets to the LA Dodgers versus the San Diego, soon-to-be Los Angeles Padres game on August 25th, 2018. That's Dodgers versus Padres, August 25th, 2018.
That's major.
Enjoy access to a private skybox and hang out with fellow growers, including some of Southern California's top professional growers.
I'll be there.
Also known as master growers.
I'll be there.
You want to hang out with master growers in a suite at the Dodgers-Padres game on
All you
August
can eat and
25th,
drink?
2018? That's right. And Heavy
And you
T,
want to go on my
Gordy
party
Chris,
bus that I haven't told no one that I'm getting yet?
and Dr. Duff and Jiggity Jiggity Duffity Duff All winners will receive a swag bag. Enter to
Duff ain't
win.
go. Dr. Duff ain't going.
I'm
Us
going.
three are
Enter to win by clicking on the link in
They-
the at DFZ Radio bio
They
on
explicitly
Instagram.
said you can't go.
Make
That's
sure to
fucked
give
up.
some love to the co-sponsors and follow at Miller_Soils_LLC. They need a new social media director.
Yeah.
And at Honor the Plant.
News, breaking news. Riverside City, California permanently bans marijuana dispensaries and outdoor cultivation. Go to planning.rctima.org to learn more.
Oh, it's deep.
Oh, well, Portland Brewery leading the CBD-infused beer movement. This is Cody put this on here. In the U.S., breweries will have to use hemp for now. The Alcohol and Tobacco Tax and Trade Bureau, federal, state, and local ordinances impact the ability to infuse and market the beer. There are some serious bureaucratic hoops to jump through, something the cannabis industry definitely understands. FDA approval of regular beer recipes has become standardized, but hemp-derived beers are scrutinized much more closely. The TTB has to reconcile these formulas with not only the FDA, but the DEA as well, because cannabis is a controlled substance. If the beer meets the standards of all these bodies, the drinks can be sold in the states they're made in. And that is fucking Captain Obvious, and maybe that's why you shouldn't have started a goddamn CBD-infused beer movement before you got the fucking law changed.
Well, fucking
I'm over
Mendocino
this shit.
County was fucking smoking some joints while they discussed cannabis cultivation.
Laced with meth.
That's for sure. I know they were smoking, for sure.
For sure.
Hey, their compliance and their board of supervising meeting adopted an ordinance amending the cannabis business tax. Limits were set on cultivation of cannabis while the Department of Agricultural processes cultivation permits. To read the full ordinance, visit a long motherfucking website.
It's at
MendocinoCounty.org. Yeah,
Right.
.government/agriculture/cannabis.
Just go to MendocinoCounty.org.
Google does that
All
for
kinds
you.
of shit.
Culver City adopted resolutions that changed how commercial cannabis permits are allocated and the number allowed. Damn you, fucking Culver City. The proposal
Culver City,
of
I mean.
following changes are reducing the max of cultivation permits by 2. What? Increasing max number of manufacturing permits by 1. Lucky dog. Increasing max number of distributor permits by 1. Hey, way to go there, Culver City.
Hey, they got
Increasing
Tito's
it way big.
tacos. Fucking love Culver City.
Who loves Tito's tacos? Jerome
I love
loves
Tito's too.
tacos.
Oh!
Whittier held a city council meeting and said, "What's happening?
Hey, are you trying to cruise the boulevard?
Hey, are we gonna go
Let me see
cruising?
your license.
I
It's
said
on the
Whittier,
back.
where the
It's
girls
on the
are
back.
prettier, huh?
It's Whittier where the girls are prettier, but it's more dangerous to come outside
Because they have Sharpie eyebrows and they get pregnant if they give you a blowjob.
It's así cerca de Pico Rivera.
The baby wasn't yours, Horty. Sorry.
Listen, Whittier, though,
She lied.
they held a city council meeting and said, "What's up, Hans?"
What's happening?
Go on.
Hey.
All right, that's the news. All right, we're out of here.
Other than that, we out.
We out.
See you next week. Fuck bitches, get money.